Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
And a little one-time passing play through center with speed. Here comes McKinnon. Racing down the right wing side. Drops the Natchez in the slot. Back to Score! McKinnon drops. Natchez carries. Roots it on the backhand. In round number one, here's McCart, a quarterback. Natchez with room. Down to the goal line. And Bruntz!
Durham loses it. Scooped up by Ellis. Got to show off the street to the rim. Oh! Thompson, the human eraser. On a challenge coming in. Coming in, going to win the battle. With a steal. Scoop it up. Thompson can fly.
Your starting lineup last time out. James initiates from the top. At Hartenstein. And one. So LeBron begins the series aggressively to the basket. Okamoto smashes the 1-1 to right center. Bowling's back at the wall. It's gone. Driven to right by Lowe on a line and gone. It's a half dozen for Lowe. Well, that got out of here like right now.
Good morning. Welcome in Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Mail Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. What's up, DB?
How we doing?
Oh, we're doing all right. How are you?
Just trying to make it.
You know, just hanging out.
Yeah, we gotta fix that graphic though.
Yeah, we're a couple short there on that one. I'll set the lineup since we're talking about graphics already.
Yeah, but the thing about it is it's not Nick and Mitch.
No, that's correct. That was yesterday.
Yeah. Well,
the tags are correct.
no,
So that's progress.
That's not good.
We got BC coming up at 8 o'clock, as we always do. It's Andy Kendeigh's week on a Wednesday here on KETV. Got a little change up here because we've got some different guests tomorrow. We'll have Michael Bruntz at 9, and then we will also talk a little NHL with Dan Rosen at 9:30.
Okay, that's fine.
That's the lineup. That's the whole day.
My screen is frozen, so we're not off to the kind of start I want to be.
I mean, it's not ideal.
No. It's more of your racist remarks.
Do I need to get you like a mason jar or something to comfort you?
No,
or?
we're not doing that. we're not doing that. And by the way, the only time Austin chimes in is when you're going full-fledged David Duke.
The shooter from Providence? Good shooter.
I mean,
4-star prospect.
Even a Christmas.
Big East player. I think he shot like 45% from three.
The Who Were the Bad Guys, though, was pretty funny.
That was really funny.
It was very timely, Mr. D&D.
I just want to note something here. I don't want to give him too much credit, but we are
Jimmy Neutron?
Yeah, Austin. We are 3 days without him here.
Yeah.
We've been late on the air twice.
Yeah.
We've been late getting off the air at least once.
Twice.
The graphics are wrong. Our pets' heads are falling off. I don't know what's happening here. It's possible this show can't exist without Austin, and I'm uncomfortable with that idea.
Well, and
it's not true. It's fine.
And 2 out of the 3 days, Sasha has not been involved one iota.
That's true. Maybe it's a Sasha thing, not an Austin thing.
It's fine.
I'm gonna blame the boss.
Okay. We got 2. I'm just saying we got 2 out of 3 cogs.
I mean,
in the
because
wheel
we
here.
have Suave, so we don't really have to miss Neutron. He's
they do different stuff.
No, I get it.
Yeah,
but it's secondary sometimes, not necessary.
Okay.
It just depends on what we're trying to work
I think
with.
you're necessary, Rico.
No, I'm saying the duties.
Oh, gotcha. Okay,
yeah, you
stuff.
could pick which one. I'm just saying,
okay.
Yeah, it's no.
I'm just letting you guys do your jobs. I'm just hanging out.
No, you contribute to a lot of debauchery. very, very low key. And sometimes it's not even very low. So, does anybody want to know, Shane? First of all, did you count how many cookies I did in my car?
You did at least 6.
And I was not dizzy. I don't know why, but I just circled the car like tight turns. Just did it over and over and over and over and over again. Do you know why?
No.
Because I woke up, I wondered if you'd get dizzy.
Okay, but I understand that. Where did that notion came to you just randomly? Like, hey, I wonder if I get dizzy if I do a bunch of cookies in the parking lot? Did you watch a television show where they were doing cookies and they got dizzy and you're like, oh, I bet I wouldn't get dizzy? Or
I mean, do you really want to know?
Yeah, because I don't know why that would just come to you out of nowhere in your sleep.
It wasn't in my sleep. It was in the shower.
Okay.
And I was washing my face.
Okay.
I use a rag, and I was like scrubbing my face, My eyes were obviously not open.
And you do get dizzy doing that sometimes.
Yeah, which I thought was kind of weird.
Because you've almost like you've had some issues doing that before.
Yeah, but I was kind of getting nosebleeds too, so it might have been loss of blood. I'm not gonna bank on the fact it was just vigorous scrubbing.
Combination of factors, let's say.
Sure, I get what you're doing.
I'm not doing anything.
I'm just trying to clean my face.
Oh, yeah, that's fine.
So I'm like, God, well, it's a little lightheaded.
So hold on, let me guess where this started. Okay, let me guess from there. So in your head, you're like, am I that easily dizzied that scrubbing my face makes me dizzy? So you had to test the hypothesis.
Correct.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, it makes DB sense. It doesn't make like actual people sense, but that's okay.
So the first thing that I did when I got here is...
Was that the first thing you thought of like, let's try cookies? Or was there other things that you were like, how else could I test this?
So I saw a drill on TikTok, or maybe it was Twitter, where the Titans were basically doing kiddie games at practice.
They got the bat. They're spinning their head around.
Yes. 100%.
They're like doing the minor league
and
baseball
I'm reading
games.
the comments, and everybody's like, what the Sam Hill are the Titans doing? So then I was like, well, I mean, maybe they're trying to work on their balance. So then it birthed into do it in my car and see if I would get dizzy.
Question. What would have happened if you had gotten dizzy?
Well, I just had to correct the wheel.
Mostly empty parking lot at that point still?
Yeah, it's just me, and there were no cars in the parking lot. It's just,
at the time?
Shane was vaping, and I pulled in.
You weren't afraid you were going to like lose control and kill Shane?
No, I was in the way back corner.
Okay.
Shane, did I seem like I had it under control?
Yeah, and you were taking some pretty big circles. So
well, that's as tight as I could do. I'm in a vehicle.
Right.
Did you think about just getting a bat out and doing like the head spinny things? I have a bat in the car if you want to try.
No.
Are you sure?
No.
I think we need to continue to test the hypothesis to make sure.
It just was, I mean, I don't know why you don't have any thoughts.
Well, my thoughts are
usually deeper than that.
No, my thought is I'm wondering if you had gotten dizzy, if you would have, because my thought is like, okay, if I'm getting dizzy on the regular basis, I'm like, I probably need to see a doctor about that. That's probably not ideal. But I know you're not going to a doctor for anything. So I don't know what I guess if you had gotten dizzy, I don't know what the end cause would have been if you were just like, gotta be better than that DB. And
I would not have been the guy. Did you see the guy that got cited and why he just got DUI and not anything else?
Like reckless driving or anything?
Considering there was a pedestrian that just slammed into the neighborhood car in the driveway.
I didn't see that.
He had hit a pole a couple seconds earlier.
Yeah.
Then just like slammed into two parked vehicles, and the dude was like taking out his trash.
Jeez.
It was here.
To this day?
Okay.
No, in Omaha, like locally here in Omaha?
Yeah.
What neighborhood was it in?
They didn't get They did say the guy's name, like it posted at the bottom online when I was watching the news this morning.
Yeah, but they didn't tell neighborhood.
I mean, it was broad daylight too. I mean, you can drink anytime, I guess, but
it's true.
Like,
as long as you've purchased it before noon on a Sunday, because they've got some rules.
Is that still a thing?
I believe so. Yeah. I haven't tried in several years, but I haven't heard about it.
What is it on? It's 6 on a weekday, right?
AM?
Yeah.
I've never had.
And then,
not that I'm buying alcohol in the morning a lot, but I've never had any restrictions.
Just asking the question. And
well, if you just go and buy the big old Costco thing, you don't have to worry about buying more later.
Those were some very large jugs of.
At some point, you're going to run out, though, so you got to buy it again.
Yeah. Rico, by the way, I sent the pictures, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can you post that? Because I'd like to let myself off.
Sure.
There.
I don't think this is going to help you the way you think.
It's not going to help you, but I'll do it.
Why?
Because it's a lot of vodka.
Yeah, but it takes a long time. That's my point. That's the whole entire point. It takes a long time. So, like, I have to go a couple times a month.
Wait, but like, how many mason jars do we have
at my house?
Like that you make the infusions in?
3.
Okay.
They all have a variety of different fruits.
Right. But the point is, you don't have to buy more until some of it's gone.
It takes a long time. I like to plan ahead.
Right, but I'm assuming you don't just have like a stockpile of like, oh shoot, now I've got 10 bottles.
No, three's the most that I can put in the mini fridge. Okay. Yeah, like take a look. Like, what's wrong with that?
There's nothing wrong with it.
You can see the one on the left is a lot closer to being ready.
Yeah. How do you decide? Like, is there a color that it gets to, or like, how do you decide like we're good to go?
You just take a little straw and you're like, is this too pure, or am I getting enough fruit? So you just
can this start the engine on my lawnmower, or does it need more time?
I feel like
Will this remove the stain from my deck if I spill it?
Am I cleaning my insides?
That could be double. Maybe that's how he can eat all the weird stuff.
Let's not do this.
That's what gets rid of all the germs.
He's basically pickled on the inside. It's fine.
Yeah.
I'm just saying. You were bound and determined to not let that picture work for me, right?
I don't know in what world that picture does work.
Because it makes a lot of sense. That's why it takes a huge amount.
If I were to tell these people that are watching right now that all of the liquid in that jar is vodka.
What do you think fusions are?
I think
it's infused with the fruit.
No, I get that. I think because I was trying to think, because there's certain restaurants that sort of have these.
Yeah, I got this idea with my brother at M's Pub like 25 years ago.
Okay, that makes sense.
And they have strawberry.
I've seen
you people drink cucumber water every other time you're in a hotel.
I do not drink cucumber water. Not a fan.
Okay.
I don't like the taste of cucumber.
Well, they got the idea. You guys mad at them for having water?
It doesn't mean you're drinking all of it at once.
Thank you, Shane. Somebody with some sense.
I think he meant the water. I understand you're not drinking all of it at once. I get that is not a one-sitting dual mason jar situation.
Yeah.
My point is, if you are combining it with the story yesterday from Costco, that if you're buying the vodka, rebuying the vodka frequently enough for him to
you're missing one detail.
Okay, what is that?
So, like, let's say it takes a couple weeks, and I'll have like a glass or whatever.
Okay,
this clearly the
Traven says, "Did you mean Jello shots, TV?"
Oh, that's.
Did you say Rocco's?
Yeah, sure.
Oh, okay.
The OCD kicks in when the fruit is exposed. So I'm constantly topping it off.
That is a factor you did not previously.
So
like every time you drink something, you're like putting it back in?
Yes.
Okay. That makes more sense.
Because I am a little concerned about exposed fruit. Go ahead. Crack the jokes.
Nope, it's fine.
I draw the line at fruit, clearly.
I just, it's
okay, it's okay.
I'll be honest.
Listen, I try to process through things out loud here, and this is clearly not a safe place.
No, I appreciate the thought process. It's just what I'm figuring out here about the food storage practices and what bothers you and what doesn't is very similar to your swear word practices, where it's like, I don't understand how that one's okay, but that one isn't. But okay, I'm starting to figure out which ones are which, so it's okay. I'm starting to figure out the patterns. I'm starting to see the matrix.
Yeah,
it's okay.
Do you know why I was sitting in the parking lot so long? And it wasn't because I was dizzy from the cookies.
You're like, I can't stumble out of here. People thought I get in my infusion too early.
And the I'm over it segment from One Pat Costello.
Yeah,
he was slamming the folks that are just bent on turkey slander. I couldn't help but to think of you.
Well, sure.
He made it was very compelling that he made it seem like it's just kind of a popular take to slam turkey.
So I'm going to be honest with you. I feel like I was early on this, though. I've been doing this for a while. I think a lot of people copied me.
My man cooked a bone-in turkey breast yesterday in a crock pot.
I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with that sentence.
Oh, I was in tears.
There's just a lot. I mean,
but everybody on set, Kenny, Michelle, they enjoy a nice turkey sandwich.
That's fine. And turkey sandwich, like cold cut, is different than, hey, let's make an entire bird. It's certainly different than let's cook this thing in the crock pot. I mean, it's hard enough to keep turkey not drying out. You think cooking it for 8 hours in a crock pot's going to be the key? I doubt it. But
I do think it's like Nickelback or one of these other
think it has
Creed, but it's just popular.
I agree with you there. I think it has become popular. I do think I was before the curve on that because I've been doing this since like 2018, where I'm like, guys, I don't know what we're doing with turkey. I really don't. I listen. I don't want to call myself.
It's not my favorite, but when it hits, it hits.
I don't want to call myself a trailblazer or anything in this area.
And a leftover turkey sandwich with nice sliced white meat is good.
I've never purposefully or willingly gone like, yeah, let's go get a turkey sandwich.
I can't imagine. This may be.
That's correct, Tim. Everyone who doesn't like turkey is copying me. I was the first one.
I like what Tim did there. Yeah, Rob, you can't trademark that.
Well, listen, I've got evidence. I've got it on. I've got a clip on my computer.
When you were a child and somebody made turkey,
yeah,
what color was the skin of the turkey?
Good correction.
Great save.
Good clarification
of the turkey.
So you can say what? So
could you see any seasonings on top?
Yes.
Or was it just light brown skin?
Nope, there was seasonings. My issue isn't really the flavor. I understand you can make it a flavor that's not disgusting. I will say plain, very bad, but that's true of a lot of meat. Like if you don't season chicken, not great either. I understand this.
Yeah.
My issue is we've got a moisture.
Kenny, that's a different kind of turkey.
I'm closer to being on board with that one, although I'm not a big dark alcohols guy anymore.
The old wild turkey.
My issue, it's a moisture issue for me more than anything.
That's just when people hit me with that. That's just a cooking technique.
That's fine. Maybe nobody in my.
I mean, this isn't Clark Griswold's where like you put a fork in it and the turkey implodes because it's so dry.
No.
And clearly, he needed to change the humidifier and the thermostat in his house because the tree went up in smoke too.
Yeah, that's
because the dog drank all the water.
It's just too dry in there.
You gotta be careful. That's not good for dogs. If you got
the dog drank all the water, that's why the tree went up.
You can't let the dogs drink the tree water.
I know.
That's why we don't have a real one.
But I repurposed a Popeye's turkey HP. I had it in the freezer for at least. It had to be 4 months.
I'm willing to acknowledge that.
I brined an already done smoked turkey.
So you rebrind?
Yes.
I'm willing to acknowledge that cooking technique may be an issue in a lot of the ones I've experienced. My question, I've got multiple questions about this. Number one, I am eating turkey from people that have otherwise made edible food, so I don't know why turkey is so difficult. Like, is there something about the bird
that makes it
that it's just like, if this is so hard to make, why don't we just do something else?
Okay.
My other issue is the upside of turkey isn't
it's just a
high
hot
enough.
take. Amazing, Daniel. That's why.
The upside of turkey isn't high enough for me. Like, even if you do it well, I'm still kind of like, eh.
So are you just out if there's alternatives or you're just out altogether?
No, I mean, if there's like a lot of like good sides, I'll probably skip the turkey. Just in general, like if there's like a really good mac and cheese, or if I got my au gratin potatoes,
it's close, Rob. I wouldn't fight you over that.
What did Rob say? I missed it.
A good turkey sandwich is greater than a ham.
I don't really love a ham sandwich either, if I'm being honest with you. I don't like cold sandwiches though.
God, that's Coach Queen.
So that's part of it
won't
for
eat
me.
Cold meat.
I'll eat cold. About the only one I'll eat cold is like Italian cold cuts. I like those, like an Italian sub or something. Like, I'm cool with that, but I don't like cold.
Which is weird because isn't that what most people like warm?
I'll eat it warm too, but that's the one that's good.
I don't like warm sandwiches.
Good enough for me cold. I don't like ham cold. I like turkey cold. I don't like roast beef cold. If we're talking about sandwiches, I'm just not doing that. I can eat chicken cold if it's on a salad, but I don't love it.
You're not the kind of guys who just reach into the bag and just eat a piece of loose meat.
He's talking to you. I clearly would.
I'm just really trying to stay on the air today.
That birria quesadilla I made you would have eaten the meat that I had shaved before I put it in the quesadilla?
Probably, yeah, that was good.
You would have eaten it cold.
Probably. I would have had like maybe a little bite, but I'm not gonna. Like,
it was super. I mean, it was paper thin.
That's fine. I'm probably not like. That's not my go-to though. Like, it's not my choice. Like, I'm not saying it's gonna make me vomit or anything. It's just if we're talking about.
So when you eat a lunch,
yeah,
you're not getting a sandwich
unless it's a hot sandwich or an Italian sub.
So you guys go to lunch all the time. What do you eat?
We usually go to a place that has hot food.
Okay.
Like every once in a while, if everybody else wants to go to Jimmy John's, we'll go to Jimmy John's. But again, I'm usually either getting an Italian one or they have like a Caesar wrap that I like, but that's the cold chicken, which is not my preference, but it's kind of like a chicken salad, so I'm okay with it.
Interesting.
But I'm not doing ham or turkey 100%. Like ham turkey.
You have a lot of hot food takes for a guy that doesn't cook.
So I go out to eat a lot because I don't like cold food.
My barber is the exact same way. He doesn't even buy groceries.
We buy groceries. Natasha's been cooking at home a little bit more, but
this dude does not buy groceries.
We don't really do cold food that much.
Hot take.
Hot food.
Huh.
Yeah. It's not my favorite. I mean, you can ask Rico. Jimmy John's is never my answer if people are like, hey, where you want to go?
But you'll eat like cold things that are supposed to be hot. That's
not like a preference, though. That's do I want to go warm up this much of a breakfast pizza? And the answer is no. So, if I'm still
Robbie would warm up a popsicle if it wouldn't melt.
Do you see how long it takes him to eat a burrito? It gives me and again,
here's the
save the food storage things that aren't supposed like. No, I can't even justify it. I'm going to stop.
Here's the problem, though. It's not
There's nothing that I could say that would let me off the hook of why I think it's weird that he can just eat cold scrambled eggs. Like, I don't have enough equity in the not eating cold food bank.
That's true.
Listen, I don't prefer it. You've seen me before, and there's certain forms of cold eggs that I just won't eat. Like when I bring in like breakfast sandwiches before, like I'll get rid of the egg, right? Because it's a certain type of way. And it's not my preference. If I'm just sitting here not trying to do a show and like eat between breaks, or if I got here early enough to eat the burrito.
Have you ever been a guy that's eaten on air?
Not on purpose. There's been times where we like came back from break a little faster than I thought, and I had a little stuff going on still.
I worked with a guy that didn't mind eating on air.
Like while you guys were actively on the air.
Yeah.
That's gross.
Yeah, it's your guy.
What? That seems
apostrophe L.
It seems unlikely if it was at the other place that any of them are my guy.
He didn't give two cares. If he felt like eating, he was eating.
I used to do it all the time.
So some people do,
dude.
Not like me just doing it because I wanted to, but like we'd have food and we'd be like, we gotta eat it.
I've only done it with like people have like brought us in food.
Yeah.
Like, hey, let's try this.
But I'm not gonna sit there with like my lunch and just be like, oh,
a ton of terrible takes. Yes, when I used to do shows with Sip. Shane, what did I always tease Sip for? He was legendary for what?
Crumbs on his shirt.
This dude needed a bib. It would drive me up the wall. I just wanted to be like,
hey, I got you. Don't worry about
Don't mealy mouth me.
Don't mealy
like how
mouth
do you
me?
Zoe
Simple used to rip donuts in half and leave the other half in the box.
Oh, that's a pet peeve.
That's a crazy person.
That's a pet peeve. Like the other one is, have you ever spent time with people that like cut things in half and they leave the knife up there like for any time that they're gonna do it? I don't know why that bugs me, but it drives me crazy.
See, that's not where my mind went. My mind went, if you cut things in half and then leave the knife there, it feels like you're encouraging me to cut something in half. And it's like, I guarantee you, I'm eating that whole ass donut. We're not cutting things in half here. Donuts were made they weren't made in like semicircles. They're made in whole circles. We're going to eat that thing, So I feel like it's a little like passive aggressive judgment on like, oh, really? You're going to eat the whole donut? It's like, yeah, Karen, I am. I worked in corporate offices for a long time. So there's a lot of like this kind of stuff that goes on.
Yeah.
Doesn't happen as much here at Hurrdat Sports because the ravenous 24-year-olds just eat everything.
Dude, it's wild.
Yeah. Like
I could bring
food
in
does not last long here.
I could bring in birdseed and they'd eat it.
It'd be gone in 3 days. Whole bag.
Is it just a free thing?
I think so, yeah. Because some of those drinks I brought were gross.
And they got crushed.
Yeah, they're gone.
How about the bad bulk candy that just disappears.
I'm gonna be honest. I was eating some of that. I love Smarties. I love Smarties.
Oh my god! Like
Ravi here for sugary chalk.
Yeah, for candies that were made. That candy's like 70 years old.
Stands the test of time. No, you know why I like it? It reminds me of when I was a little baby diabetic. They had these glucose tabs. I
should that be fun? I'm sorry. I feel like that should have been funny. That was funny.
It was meant to be funny.
A little baby diabetic.
Yeah. I mean, I wasn't a baby, but I was a baby.
You're just a big baby diabetic.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, they had these little things to treat low blood sugars called glucose tabs, and they are chalky as hell. And there were these weird flavors. They had like orange and strawberry, and I was like, these are terrible. But I think it's like I don't know if it's like nostalgia or just like a memory thing or whatever. But I started trying to find other candies that were similar but better.
Yeah.
And so Smarties and
Were you a Sprees guy?
No, so you didn't want something chewy because it took longer to digest.
It's too many rules, but okay.
Well, when I'm trying to not die, I kind of try and figure out like, hey, what's best here? What's best practice here to not be a dead baby diabetic? So the Smarties and the Sweet Tarts were such a dramatic improvement from the glucose tabs that I was like, I think this is it for me.
Hey, by the way, Kendall, shame on me. I just put his Shane, you can verify his cooler is in my car. I have got to send that back to Kendall.
Yeah.
I forgot.
I did too.
I'm like, damn it. But the cool thing is I looked at the tab yesterday when I put it in the car. It has the return address. Because he'd sent it to me on a DM, and then when my phone got screwed up, I couldn't.
Oh, you couldn't find it?
I couldn't find it.
Yeah.
But
it's all right. We're back at it.
It's good to hear from you. Like I need to be your best friend because you've provided me with the best things that have come out of the water so far.
TK,
that salmon was elite.
Bottle caps are good, but they're not like as easy to find. Like I could find.
Do you know
Sweet Tarts and Smarties in bulk, and that was important.
My go-to candy as a kid was.
I like Nerds too, Funky. Those are good.
Was Skittles maybe?
Oh, I liked Skittles a lot as a kid.
It was fruit because I hate chocolate. So it was, and it wasn't a hard candy.
I'm a fruit candy
I've
guy.
never liked hard candies. Except the strawberries that were wrapped like strawberries that have the squeezable stuff in the middle. That's a grandma candy.
Yeah. So you mean hard candies like Jolly Ranchers, like hard
Yeah,
candy.
I don't mess with those.
Yeah.
I don't mess with those at all. I did we traded like in my neighbor, like we liked Taffy.
Laffy Taffy was good.
Not Laffy Taffy, Now-R-Laters.
Oh, Now-R-Laters are good.
Now-R-Laters were fire. And we ate the Alexander the grapes, the Johnny apple seeds. I didn't mess with the cherry chans or anything, but like I like the grape and the apple.
I don't know what
they're old.
Yeah, I don't know what any of those are.
You can go to like 4. No, you don't strike me as a 4 Aces guy.
I don't know what that is.
There used to be one on like 30th and Curtis by my ex-friend's house.
Let me stop you there. I haven't been there.
Okay. What's a good place to get good old school candy?
Yeah.
Now you have to check the expiration dates.
Sure.
Because there's one on 25th and Leavenworth.
Yeah. And
I should have known, Rico, but they had packages of beer nuts. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like bar mix?
Yeah.
They were 99 cents. And I was like, oh my God, this is steal. They were like the size of sunflower seed bags.
Yeah.
Yes, I got 4.
And not good.
They had to be from, I don't know, 2018 maybe.
I was like, when didn't beer nuts go out of business? Like
2017 maybe. And I like tore the corner open and I'm just like doing this, driving. I was like, it's pretty stale.
It's not quite right.
Yeah. That might be the last time I like intentionally littered too.
Really? You just like get this.
I mean, like listen, I'm going to tell on myself again because this is just what I do. I like low key crack the window And it's a bag, like, and I'm driving. I like low key cracked the window, like I'm hiding it from myself, and I went and slid out the window in broad daylight.
Just no.
I don't know why I thought that would.
Can you imagine being the guy next to him? Like you just look over, you just see a guy.
To see,
So
like,
that's the more important thing is to like you got to check.
You've never like low key off the slick, just like toss something out the window.
No, listen. I haven't done it very much.
Who am I hiding it from?
I get it. I get it.
If I'm tossing something out the window, I'm rolling that thing all the way down. I'm chucking that thing.
I get it. It's just me being.
You got to do the look around though, right? Like you're about to tell a racist joke, and you got to make sure nobody's gonna be mad at you. You got to look around.
Never had to do that before.
You're not in our group chat yesterday.
Oh, I did the look around, but it turns out you weren't in the room with me, so it didn't help.
Oh man, Boston baked beans are horrible today.
I didn't think anything I said was racist yesterday. I don't. We don't need to read it.
I was about to say. I want to post it.
Let's not do that.
I think you just screenshot it.
Dude, he's a horrible person.
Yeah, we know this. You say it every day like it's somehow changed.
I don't think people believe me. I think they think it's a bit.
I didn't know the history of mason jars. How is that on me?
It's fine. I'm not. Do you like my heads today?
Yeah, we got we got James Franklin and Lincoln Riley. There we go.
How was James Franklin throwing you?
I just saw the bald head and
TK, he says out loud all your inner thoughts.
I saw the bald head and was usually bald head means Dannon, and then I was like, that's not Dannon.
No, I need a new. So there's a couple. I have to put in a couple of requests.
Yeah,
I need a Benny McLaughlin. I need a Will Bolt. I need a new Dannon.
We need a new rule. We need skinny rule.
I have skinny rule.
Do you now?
Yeah.
Okay.
I have skinny rule.
All right.
And one more I'm missing. Oh, they were just here. You can't stand him.
You're gonna have to narrow it down.
Oh yeah, good point.
That's a lot of people.
Lost Hankowitz, his DC.
Oh,
Fitzgerald.
Yeah. Oh, I don't have that. He's probably not even in the top 100.
Wow. Every time it comes up,
I think he's overrated. I don't have anything personal against him.
Okay.
I think the assumption he's going to be great at Michigan State is a big one.
I don't even know. What are Reggie bars?
I don't know what Reggie bars are.
What was the
Reggie?
I got to ask my buddy John. Yeah, I told you about the story when we were in Minnesota? We were actually at Shakopee at the big where all the good recruits are.
Yeah.
We stopped at a gas station across the street, and I can't remember the candy, but it's from 1960, and he loves it. And I'm like, do they even still make those? Was it cherry Bing? Was it? I don't know. It was something weird.
Oh, the Bing cherry ones?
It was very old.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I think those. I'm thinking cherry mash. Cherry mash still exists. I don't know if cherry Bing does.
I gotta ask him because it's driving me up the wall. And by the way, I hate this new text messaging. I don't know how to I can't click on a text and just send the words. I can't. You know what I mean? Where you could select all and shit. I have to figure out how to do all
copy.
Of that. Yeah, and the style is ugly. I want to go back to the old way, but I don't want no problem, so leave me alone.
I was going to say anything. I didn't want to get Kel Jam all pissy at me again about Android.
No, Kel Jam, he hooked me up.
And Apple.
He came through again today. He told me how to shut Waze down.
There you go. That's good.
Did you see it in the
I saw it in the Discord. Yeah.
I mean, that's helpful. That's helpful.
I'm super helpful.
No,
all the time.
Jeez.
When am I not helpful?
Dude, you're so bad. It's not even funny.
What do you mean?
The best thing you're good at.
I can't wait to hear this.
No, I will give you credit. It's like when I'm in a pinch, you are nails.
Yeah.
Right? I forgot my phone going to Lincoln or last minute dog sitting. You're really good at that stuff.
Yeah.
Backs against the wall. But if you have to give it thought and you have time, you're horrible. It's I don't know how else to explain it. So Rico's
So you know what it is?
It's just not like you're incorrigible.
So here's the problem that I have is I didn't get into
you
like
were gonna come to my house.
Yeah.
Well, do you need me to like what time do I need to let? No, I'll bring the dogs to you.
Yeah, which was super helpful. Yeah.
You don't have to like.
Yeah.
But if I'm just having like.
So
yeah.
Robbie is the opposite of Batman. With prep time, you're in trouble.
No,
he's bad, terrible.
He's not a good dude.
But if you surprise him, he's like, got it.
So that's how you know, like deep down, I'm a good person.
No, I don't.
It's because the instinct is immediately to help. But if
I don't know that.
But if I have time to think about it, then my demons will take over. No, so here's I think what the problem is.
I want to go back through these last couple of group chats so bad.
I think
you're not a nice person.
I think what the problem is there's like an internal, like I didn't get into risk management because I was like, hey, this seems super fun. It was like my brain already works that way, so this job is super easy, right?
So, just want to catch the bad guys?
No, it's like I just have like an internal, my brain works just like, that's just how it works. Like it's like an internal little like risk engine all the time. So if it's like, hey,
an internal risk engine.
So when somebody says something to me and I'm like, DB's in a bad way, got to go help.
Yeah.
Whereas if it's like, this is just a normal day, then I'm going to choose my own devices.
Yeah, I'm just simply trying to explain being dizzy, and you like low key go. It's not even low key. Like you go in. Like,
I was just trying to figure out how we got to doing cookies in the parking lot this morning. That's all I wanted to know.
I just think we need to work on your delivery.
Maybe, but I've been working on this one for a while. I'm almost got it down.
I told you I have voice text now, so I can I send a voice text?
Do we have okay, so I got a question here.
What?
What's the difference between Boston baked beans and regular baked beans?
They're talking about the hard candy.
Boston baked beans is a hard candy?
One's going to call you mean names. The other one's just really good at a barbecue.
No, Google Boston baked beans.
Wait, that's a candy?
Boston baked is a candy. It's in the same vein as the Alexander the Grapes and the Charlie Chans.
I'm going to be honest with you.
Cherry Chans.
I would never buy a candy called baked beans. That looks disgusting.
Hey, and by the way, look at the box for Cherry Chans. I'm pretty sure you can't get away with that anymore.
Oh, as soon as you said the name, I was like, that's not going to be good.
No, look at the image of the box, though.
I imagine it looks like a Looney Tunes cartoon from the 40s.
Yep. Yeah, it's probably not going to fly.
Nope, can't do that.
Boston baked beans were the
horrible.
Candy. They were the ones that you got to last.
They had the coating with the peanut
at Halloween.
Yeah. That no. The orange and black.
Those were bad too. Yeah.
Taffy things.
Both those.
Those you could miss me with those.
The Boston baked bean is also a type of baked beans, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Like real life, like.
Yeah, like it's not just the candy. There's also like a baked beans made Boston style. I'm not missing.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm not a baked bean.
Kobe's
person.
giving me a hard time. So I was like, I don't know if.
Oh, I've missed Kobe. Where is he?
He said, I'm thinking Bush's baked beans. No, I'm aware of those because they have the cool dog.
Where's Kobe?
Roll that beautiful bean footage.
I haven't seen him.
I mean, he's right there. So Todd says burnt peanuts is that what's in the Boston bean candy?
Oh, there he is.
Yeah, they're candy coated peanuts.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that.
They're not good.
Well,
Authentic Boston baked beans are a savory slow cooked dish featuring navy beans, molasses, salt, pork, or bacon, onion, and mustard.
I don't really mess with beans. I like refried beans, and I mash them up in like my dips and stuff because I like the flavor. But I'm not a kidney northern. Navy
I can do refried beans. Those are okay, like in Mexican food or Hispanic food or whatever. I don't know.
Well, of all the things to be culturally sensitive about, it's that. I mean,
well, I wanted to
make it make sense.
I wanted to be inclusive, I've done.
You're such a horrible person.
Speaking of being inclusive, I like black beans as well.
You have a Kleenex?
No, I got some.
Rico, can you grab me a paper towel? Come on, man.
What? Oh, okay. I didn't see you were drinking while I was doing that.
Oh. Why?
That's about it though on beans. Indians are really more of a rice people or a lentil. I don't think most people consider lentil beans.
Shane, you can't replay that right away, okay? Why did it was how you put the accent mark? He's like, I like black beans. It's like, is that necessary?
Trying to enunciate.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I appreciate that. Oh, I have a leak.
Trying to make sure.
Oh,
Amazing Daniel says, careful, you made Damon dizzy.
I can't say. Okay, so just so you guys know, I'm competitive. Like I'll usually hang it. I'm not telling any more stories. They never go the way that I want them to. I look for encouragement. Oh man,
I like all kinds of beans.
Juan, I appreciate the support. I don't think I can read that one. Kenny, so I'm not a huge. Yeah, I don't think I can say that. And Juan, I was very.
You want me to say it?
I don't know.
No.
Kinda?
I don't know, man.
No,
I don't know.
no.
I don't know.
You don't know. Historically in boxing, you guys don't get along, so I don't think you're cool enough.
Fair. I like in chili. I'm a no beans and chili guy. It's mostly.
Oh,
yeah, I
man.
do think it's mostly Mexican food that I'm okay with the beans in.
Okay.
Not a big,
Can you imagine that I came into this segment wondering I really wanted to know about NBA basketball.
Let's talk about NBA basketball. I'm here
Like
for the hoops.
I came in chomping at the bit to see who was gonna be more unwatchable. Was it a guy like Mitchell or Shai Gilgeous? And Shai was fine last
Shai
night.
was okay last night. Yeah.
He was really good.
You know what makes me mad though?
What?
Just play like that all the time, homie.
It's all about winning.
I understand that, but not for me.
How about Harden? You think Harden just woke up yesterday and he's like, today's the great giveaway?
What do you have, 7?
Man,
That's a lot.
just giving it to the other team.
Yeah, he's I'm gonna be honest, not really firing on all cylinders anymore, that old James Harden.
Yeah. Hey, Shane,
Although better than I thought he would be at this age.
what day did we decide to get Jess?
She will be tomorrow.
So, full disclosure,
There's gonna be some Thunder talk, I imagine.
100%.
Yeah.
I know you're thinking softball.
No, I'm gonna hammer her on
in
Shai.
our group deal with Kyle and Ben,
Yeah.
she's like calling the sweep already because she knows the Lakers are my team. She's a menace.
She might not be wrong.
Okay, it's game 1.
That's fine. That's
And
fine.
they had that thing to within 4 in the third quarter.
Yeah, no, they hung in there for a while.
Yeah.
They were doing all right.
Let's not.
At no point did I think they were in danger of winning, but they hung in there for a while.
In danger of winning?
Yeah, I didn't think there was any cause for concern there.
Again, good guy.
Can I?
What? Like,
What?
you don't even like OKC. Can't you just rock with your guy in a
No,
series?
I'm rooting for the Lakers. Don't get me
Oh,
wrong.
because everybody could tell that you were rooting for the Lakers.
Well, that's a fair point.
What
See?
a Richard is.
Concession. No, I'm rooting for the Lakers because I don't want OKC to win. Again, it's we're sort of on a Jokic path here with SGA. I need people to chill a little bit with talking about all-timers.
He's pretty good.
He's really good, but like we're pretty premature on the all-time conversations
I
here.
think they won. What was his final? Was he like 18-6? And they
he wasn't
chill.
Yeah, he was not
I mean, they let Chet go ham, but how many dunks did Chet have?
I think he had like
6, maybe.
I think he had 6 in the first half. Like
Oh,
he did. He had like 4 alley-oops in the first half.
That ain't 6.
Well, then he had a couple others that weren't alley-oops. So I was rounding up a little bit.
Yeah. All right.
I didn't know you were a big Chet guy.
I actually do like Chet a lot.
Yeah, I'll rock with that. You have.
I've been a Chet guy for a minute because I asked before I had seen Wemby. I asked in our group chat with DeMaurice and Padilla. I was like, "Hey, what's the difference here between Chet and Wemby?" Because people are freaking out over Wemby. This was before his draft year. It was Chet's draft year. I go, people are freaking out.
I'm just hoping your boy goes 0 of 8 again.
I hope he doesn't do that again.
Like, stop shooting those.
I would agree with that. Better shot selection, big guy. You're 7'5". Get to the rack. All right.
Are you more excited to see Ant or Wemby tonight?
Always Wemby. I love Wemby.
Dude.
Ant was really good game one. Like, I was really impressed. I couldn't believe he played at all.
Listen, look. Anthony Edwards' slay list of guys that he's bounced out of the playoffs
Pretty impressive.
Is Hall of Fame worthy.
Especially for a guy that hasn't, like, usually you've got that list.
He's bounced Curry,
we don't got to talk about that one.
Jokic. Like, his slay list is impressive.
Not as impressive as 2011 Dallas, but pretty good.
I don't know, man. Ant is... For a guy that is super, does Ant have a serious bone in his body other than when he's playing basketball?
Other than when it looks like he wants to murder people on a basketball court?
Dude, we're talking about a guy that paid $18 million in child support up front.
I think that's pretty serious. Also,
like,
I know I come off as anti-kid.
Yeah.
Mostly because I'm anti-kid.
Yeah, but that was a bad situation.
No, I get it.
Like,
I'm
not judging because I think I could almost love anybody, but that is a bad
tough situation. I will say that
she did not seem like a good person.
One of the coldest moves of all time is just to be like, here's all of it up front. We're good, right? We will no longer speak. Like, that's a cold move.
Yeah. I think it was like 18 too.
Yeah, it was. I think it was like 18 mil because it ended up being like $1.5 million a year till 18, or for a certain, or it might have $1 million a year for 18 years.
Yeah, he did that bit with Obama and Anthony Edwards was. I like Ant because he play. That's how I want you to play the game.
Yeah, no, I agree. I don't have a problem with Ant at all. I like Ant.
And he you see when he hit the 3 in Wemby's eye?
Yeah. No, he's like that. Like, he's
a killer.
He's a killer. He plays super hard. I do think his game is, like when we were talking to Joel the other day, like, obviously he's got a skill set, right? Like, he's a skilled
His jumper
player.
Isn't pretty enough for you?
No, it's not even that. Is for a guy that I don't think has a particularly pretty jumper, like, I like how he plays. Like, I still find his style aesthetically pleasing. So it's not all about.
He's highly skilled.
He is. I wouldn't say it's as, again, like, it's not as pretty as certain games.
You know what it is? You like the finesse guys. He's got some power.
But I like him. That's what I'm saying. Is like, he is
But I think that's what's throwing you.
But he doesn't. So it's not the power that I have a problem with. I think it's the bullying.
I mean,
I don't consider Ant a bully. Like, he's athletic and skilled enough that it doesn't look like he's bullying people, even when he's winning because he's stronger. Like, most of the guys that I don't like, that's part of the reason LeBron's game is not particularly pleasing to me. Even when he was the biggest, freakiest athlete in the league, he still had a bully element to his game.
I didn't like it.
Where he kind of just went through people. It's like, you don't have to play like that. You know that, right?
It took me a long time to come around on Shaq.
Shaq's a good one.
I didn't.
Shaq's.
I don't particularly love Shaq's game.
I lean Hakeem over Shaq hard.
Yeah, you like it's getting skilled.
Yeah, it's a pretty game, But I do like Ant. I like Ant's game, and so I don't know if
Shea is so smooth. It's too low. It's too low hanging fruit to be like the whole shea butter thing. But
yeah,
do you even?
No, I know. Yeah, it's a type of lotion.
Usually for.
Listen, I'm all in on shea butter.
Do you use lotion?
Yeah,
you do.
Yeah, it's important to get dry skin.
Oh, that's interesting.
I don't know if that's like.
That's not necessarily a cultural thing.
I think it's environmental. You get, dry. You get.
Like,
you gotta understand
the house over Christmas.
Yeah, you get dry winters up here in Nebraska, and gotta be careful.
Donovan Mitchell's playing style or SGA.
So that
KJ.
So Cal Jam's right. He has the ability to play that's what makes me the most mad about. It's the same thing that makes me mad about Luka, is I feel like he has the ability to play in a way that I would like. And again, that it doesn't matter except to anyone but me. He has SGA and Luka have the same problem to me. They could play in a way that would be incredibly beautiful to watch, and they choose not to. That's the thing that bothers me about both of them.
Thank Jared. That's the first bad take you've had maybe in a long, 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 long time.
Good and plenty.
They rot.
Those like the little, like almost like Mike and Ike's?
Unless he's talking about the fruit ones.
Are those Mike and Ike's?
The purple, white, and black ones, those are not the good and plenties.
Are those like licorice flavored.
They're like
The black
little
ones?
tamale capsules,
Yeah,
chewables.
like Mike and Ike shaped. Okay.
Yes. Which good and plenty's, Jared. I'm gonna give you a chance to get off the hook here. The ones that taste like black licorice are.
Ooh, I did like Dots, Kenny. I did like Dots.
Oh, duh. That was my go-to.
Dots.
Oh,
dude, Dots are good.
Shane, remember me going through my dot deal?
It was a phrase.
Every Halloween around there, I would take all the little dots. I got dots at movie theaters. When I started being like, read the box conscious, and looked at the carbs and dots, it wasn't even the sugars. I was like, oh my God, there's no way.
Yeah.
I want to tell another story, but I don't want to anymore.
Go ahead. It's okay. I'll tell one first about Dots, and then you'll feel safe. Okay. So when I was in middle school, they stocked Dots in the vending machine, and so that was always kind of like
like just the yellow box.
Yeah.
Because they have lots of different flavors now.
And I would always get real excited when this sounds silly because I was
Nebraska. He's old like me. That's top. We're both old.
I was
Shane. You see Nebraska's in the chat. He's actually Black Audio, but that's our guy, Nebraska.
Gotcha. Okay. Nebraska, Oklahoma.
Nebraska. Shane plays a drop where he's like, "We do it to ourselves."
Yeah.
Shane, do you have any Nebraska drops? He used to be all over the place.
Are the elderly?
No, that's
what
Nebraska.
does that mean?
That's Nebraska ball, Mike.
You're dang right.
That's Nebraska.
Yeah, is he the one that's in Oklahoma?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Guess who I saw, Shane, at Westside's track meet? Of all our historic callers.
Oh, who'd you see?
He hit me with the DB. What's DB? You don't even know who I am, do you? DB. DB. Don DeMarco.
That's awesome.
Shane, it was like I hit the lottery. I was like,
I just wanted to say I've been saying that for 5 years.
That guy. And I'm
Do
just
your thing, man. Shock the world, baby.
I'm just telling you, no way you can guess what he looks like. Not a snowball's chance. I'm telling you. I was like, whoa.
I got some chills in my body. I want to meet Don Juan.
Yeah, I was walking in the parking lot. Ed Benson.
You got like Taylor Martinez chills throughout your body or what?
I think so.
He's arguably one of the funniest people we ever talked to.
He's he was pretty frequent for a minute.
Don Juan could get off 18 topics in a 3-minute phone call.
Oh yeah, he would rapid fire those things.
Bro. But DB. He used to tell somebody, you ain't never seen me cutting grass.
Meanwhile, we haven't gotten to 18 topics in a week.
I looked at the rundown again.
Yeah.
You're a persistent son of a gun.
We're
going to get to it today.
Which one?
The player versus fit thing.
Oh, on the defense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because
good.
I'm overseeing it. I mean, we're going on
months.
2 months.
Yeah, absolutely.
And it keeps creeping up.
Well, I kind of move it around, because it depends on the day. I actually do put thought into these, despite what people think. It depends on.
He's here, Chucky Chuck. Michigan Lance is here.
It depends on what else
phones
is going on. It depends on what else is going on with the sports world. So if there's less pertinent things, I told you this like a month ago when it had been on for like a month. I go, as long as we get to it before September, we're good.
I don't mind getting to that because the write-up. I don't know if our guys would be, if our listeners would be interested in it. I think it's interesting though because you go. I kept it open too, so you'd be proud of me.
I am proud.
I am so proud.
I'm a big Paul Rhodes guy.
It was the tennis thing we're never getting to.
It wasn't because it was tennis. It was because I think it's interesting that you have players openly talking about a boycott of their sport.
Yeah, you said Matt Rule talked earlier this spring about the difference between getting the best 11 players on the field versus getting players into specific positions.
Yes, and I thought it was very interesting.
That has been sticking in your craw for quite a time.
It's not been sticking in my craw so much as
black licorice sucks.
Yeah, it's not good. I wanted to talk about it because I think it's an interesting dynamic, and B, I think there is an example from you coaching at Westside that you've talked about before that I think is very specifically on the nose for this.
Huh.
And so we actually aren't going to get to it now because we have 3 minutes before Brian Christopherson.
Oh, well, Shane hadn't played any music yet.
But
hey, Shane, you want to play them? There you go, buddy.
Right on cue.
I got a leak. My eye is watering. My nose is dripping all over black beans. I'm not happy. Joe Good.
Black beans.
What up, Joe Good?
Those are the two type of beans that end up in Mexican food the most, is refried and black. I don't know what you want me to do there. You occasionally get a pinto bean as well.
Oh yeah,
not as big on those particular ones.
Pintos might be more Peruvian.
Are they?
I think so.
I basically just going on what I can get at Chipotle. Those are kind of what my options are. So I'm not like as in depth on. We should take a break. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla. We'll be back with Brian Christopherson coming up next.
Oh.
It feels good. I have to tell you, I didn't even think about it until somebody said, how your team celebrated. And we did celebrate. And we're not discounting it. And we're not actually looking beyond it or looking forward to anything beyond that. I mean, we are looking forward to things beyond that. But here's the thing. I felt like we've just had this business about us this year. And we talked about joy. We've talked about all the things. But it's just like like I said, we were just trying to win pitches and win another game. And we were able to do that. And then, some special things happened because of that. And even after we won the first game, we knew that we had clinched at least a share. And then after we won the second game, I had to triple check. I mean, I was like making Aaron call everybody, like make sure, because I do want to tell them that we just clinched it, but I didn't want to say something that I had to take back. So, but there was a real calmness. There was a real peacefulness about it that wasn't so like out of your mind with excitement, even though it does feel like it's very exciting, but it's been in our body of work. It's not, we've just been plodding along. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's not something that I would have expected just because usually, outfielders aren't really recognized, but it's really cool, and it's really cool to see all of my hard work and all of our hard work in general pay off. It's really cool. It's kind of a thank you to the girls before me because they really showed me what the work ethic is and how to step in here and kind of do things the way that we do it, and they really showed me the way, so it kind of goes back to them. It's really cool. And seeing all of our hard work pay off, I say it a lot, but, we come and we show up every day. It's really cool to see it finally pay off and not have to share it with anyone.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live. Here is Husker 24/7 senior writer Brian Christopherson.
Yeah, you got guys walking into Ace Hardware without their shirts on.
Brian Christopherson.
We got a pretty good sewing circle in this state.
Brian Christopherson.
To me, it's like crunch time, baby.
Here is Brian Christopherson.
Welcome back. Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7. BC, what's going on, buddy? How we doing?
I'm doing great. How are you guys?
BC, does it have anything to do with the fact that Buxton is hitting bombs?
Yeah, we got to give him his props because on this show, I like Byron, but there's been some jokes made about how he's Mr. Glass and all that stuff through the years. And what is it, 11 home runs in 19 games?
Mm-hmm.
That's doing it. So good for Byron because when he's healthy and rolling, he's one of the most, I would say, one of the more fun players to watch in the league. So he's that guy right now. Twins are only a game and a half out in the AL Central.
Listen, unless you're in a division with the Cubs or the Yankees, you feel like you're in good shape.
Well, the top of the standings in the AL Central right now, the records are there's a tie at 18 and 19. So that's why the Twins are a game and a half out, but we'll take it.
I don't know what's gotten into the Cubs or I was afraid of the Yankees, though, just because they were getting by on such good pitching early without their staff even being healthy. At some point, they were going to hit the baseball. I mean, they spanked DeGrom around pretty good yesterday.
Yeah, what are they, 24-11, something like that? I saw in the standings today. I mean, yeah, they're posed to run away with it right now, but we'll see. AL Central, though, you just got to be right in that meaty part of the curve, get to like 83, 84 wins. So that's the land that I live in.
BC, I have to ask you because I don't trust our listeners because I get killed. I try to have these vulnerable moments. And I wanted to tell this story. Have you ever spent too much time or an inordinate amount? It's not funny yet.
No, but you already told me the story, so it is funny.
Have you ever spent too much time looking for something and you kind of got ushered out or like sped up or like, come on, man, let's go? Like, has that ever happened to you?
Yeah, I'm sure it has. What's your situation, though?
Okay. So I was at a convenience store and I'm very particular about like I look at macros and stuff. It's annoying. I get it. That's not really the point of the story, but well, kind of is. So I occasionally will want something, but I'll eat it over time, like fruit pies or Like I'll break a piece off of something and then I'll put it away and then I'll eat it the next day. So I'm super deep into like looking through like 6 or 7 options. So I asked the guy, part of this is my fault. So I asked the guy, I'm like, hey, you have this brand. Like, what do people say about this? Like, do they like it? And, it's a quick 30-second deal, right? So short story long, I think it ended up being about 10 minutes later, and I'm still over there because I'm like, if I eat a little bit today, will it taste the same on Wednesday? Or like I'm processed. It's just me being me, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so the guy over the counter, he goes, at this point, are you even buying anything? And I felt like I was torn. I was like, should I be mad he said that? Or since I invited him 10 minutes ago into the conversation, did I earn that? Did I earn that, BC?
Yeah, you might have. I'm not like that at the store. I'm very quick. Like I make impulse buys a lot.
I am not that guy.
I'm within whatever I'm looking at on the shelf. I'm either taking it or not within 10 seconds. So I can't relate to you on that particular one. But
do you know going in what you're getting?
Not always. No, but if I see something I like, it's one of the rare things where my brain does process quickly, where I'm like, okay, I'm going to get that. And so, but yeah, it's within 10 seconds of seeing something. So I can't relate to that, but it sounds like you kind of ration food a little bit. And, I can kind of connect on that level. The thing about me that my wife just can't stand it is that I'm a notoriously slow eater. Like we'll be watching something on the couch with the food, and it'll be like the end of the show, and I'll still have something left on my plate. And everybody in my family makes fun of me. It kind of goes back to when I was a kid watching you guys play football games. We'd have like family get-togethers, like what would happen in Nebraska, where you have like 10 to 15 people over, your aunts and uncles are there, and there'd be chili and all this stuff. And I'd fill up my plate with all these crackers and stuff watching you guys in 93, 94. And the game would be in the third quarter and I had like half the plate still there. So I think it's like I would get caught up in the game, and I never let that habit go. So you might not be a slow eater, but I pace myself with my food consumption. That's for sure.
I'm not even going to kid you. That would bug me because
it bugs everybody.
So funny story, not funny. I think I kind of low key told this. I don't know if it was on air or not. You know who's a ridiculously slow eater is Mekhi Nelson. So I tell you this story.
I don't think so.
He's eating. He's at our house and he's having dinner, and he has a very particular diet. He's into weight and stuff like that, and so I was very like ahead of time. I was like, hey, is this gonna be good? Is this right? I talked to his parents. I was like, is there a special way you like to do this? Like I went all out, right? And he was picking at it. And after like 12 minutes, I'm like, do I? And of course I did. I was like, food good? You like this okay? Like, are you like, this is for you, man. Right? Because I didn't just let him mind his own business. And he kind of mumbled something. He's like, oh, just I'm eating a certain way. And after like 5 minutes, I go, here, let me have your plate. I'm just gonna get you some so it's still hot. Like, and I redid his plate. And finally, at the very end, BC, he finished his plate. He's just fine. Like he's like, oh man, this was fire, blase, blase. And I go, like, why do you always eat this slow? He's like, oh man, I forgot that, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. I have to watch what I eat and this, so I try to space it out so I feel fuller. And I was like, oh, okay. I feel better.
What I get out of that story is that Mekhi Nelson is a fourth quarter back. Like he's going to be steady, he's going to pace himself, and then he's going to put up the 75 yards in the fourth quarter and go like he did there.
Exactly. That's my takeaway. But BC, it bugs me when people play with their food. Like,
Well, I would bug you then, because we get to eat, and the waiter waitress will come over, be like, "Can I take your plate?" And that's when I get like a territorial. I like put the hand like in front of the plate, like I'm not done yet. I'm just conversing with my people here. But yeah, I could see where Makai and myself. I'll have to see if we can connect on that. Like, I hear you're a slow eater too, man.
He'll be like, wait, what are you talking about?
Yeah, he's like, I don't know. Yeah, they totally weird a guy out with that. But
that was the same time I didn't believe how much he weighed.
Oh yeah. And he's like, go get the scale right now.
He's like, you got a scale? And I was like, no, okay. Anywho, BC, how are we feeling about still hosting in baseball? Are you like, your temperament's pretty even keel? How are you feeling?
Not as good as I did a week ago when I was on your show, but they got to do the old Men in Black treatment with what happened this past weekend. It was discouraging, no question about it. You got to also understand, some of that goes with baseball. I know there's been the comparisons to, was it 21 against Rutgers when they had that bad weekend, and it kind of cost them in this respect. But sometimes I think when things like this happen in sports, you got to step back as a team or as a player and be like, right now you look at RPI and where we're at, we're in position still, like with, this final, 7 games or whatever there is in the regular season heading to conference play. If you had told us before the season, we would be right here right now, hosting this weekend, a big series. Let's go get it. And I think the key is you just got to go get it one pitch, one inning at a time. You can't get a sweep right back without doing the detail items and getting good stuff on the mound. So we'll see if they can do that. I think this team from, I'm not like Bruntz. Bruntz is more inside the circle and has a better read on like their mentality, but obviously they've shown toughness in how they can respond to adversity within games. And now you got really the first big one of this conference season where you got some adversity to respond to there. So they do have a track record of doing what they need to in these situations within games. Now you got to do it within the season.
BC, as you kind of look across the landscape of Nebraska sports, obviously softball is killing it, and they start their Big Ten conference tournament tomorrow. Baseball had been having a really good year, still having a really good year. Didn't love that last series, obviously, against Ohio State. Like, when you're processing through those sports and how we react to those sports, and then kind of processing through how we react in the off season of other sports, does it seem like do you think those are all the same people? Like, we talk about the fan base kind of as a uniform thing.
What do you mean? Are they all the same people?
Like, we talk about the fan base as it is like just one unit of people, right? But I
think they're softball fans.
Yeah, I found myself wondering a lot. Like, I know people that are bigger basketball fans than football fans, right? Or bigger volleyball fans than basketball fans or football fans. And so, like, I'm wondering, because we were having this discussion the last couple of weeks about how people process the different results within Nebraska sports and how it was a little bit confusing, maybe even hypocritical to us. But then I'm like, well, we might be talking about entirely different people.
Yeah, there's probably some of that. I don't know to what degree. It'd be hard to say. So I don't know how to answer that one exactly, but there's no question there's different reaction to the different sports than football. I think it's like that a lot of places, though. There's the big dog, and the big dog gets the most attention, and it gets the most criticism too, or the most skepticism when people are worried about something. And I think that's the way it goes with football here, and probably in most places. But yeah, there is a different reaction sometimes to the ebbs and flows of the season within the different sports. I don't know how much crossover there is with the fans, though. That'd be hard to say. I always come back to, we do have to be careful. There's sort of an online reaction that goes to everything, whatever sport it may be. And you always got to remind yourself.
I completely agree.
It's just a segment of the fan base. And there's a lot of people who aren't, And that's not knocking that people are on there. I live in that world. So that's not a slam to anybody that's passionate, that spends their day with opinions on Husker football, Husker basketball, whatever it may be. Just have to recognize that, I mean, there's 95+% of the fan base, more than that doesn't live on Twitter, that doesn't know some of the things that like is a conversation point there. There was some poll that wronged Nebraska and people are fired up about it, or somebody had an opinion. There's a lot of people who don't even know that's going on, and so I always remind myself of that.
I agree.
That's fair. I mean, that's fair.
I do try to talk him off the ledge quite a bit, but he's passionate. I mean, I think he's very protective of.
I guess I think my question sort of roots at this place of like, does the fan base have a certain obligation? I guess is my. What do you mean? I mean, so we talk a lot about like how is this helpful, or how is this good for the program, or whatever. And like maybe fans don't have the obligation to do what's good for the program, and I think they should, and maybe that's where the disconnect is. But like maybe there is no obligation, that I'm just sort of projecting that onto people.
That's interesting. That's on the heels of what Saban said to the Alabama fan base.
Yeah. Like it's not. I know it's not a uniquely Nebraska thing, right? Because like you said, we had that great clip of Saban talking about Alabama's fan base needed to chill on DeBoer and stuff like that because he's a good coach and everything like that. But
I don't think they have a BC. Oh, it's your segment.
Yeah,
BC, what do you think?
Yeah, like I guess, is there an obligation of the fan base, or should there be, or is it just, hey, you kind of consume it however you want to?
I don't think there's an obligation.
Yeah, I'm kind of the mindset. I try not to tell fans how to fan.
I agree.
Because that can be dangerous, and there's so many just different viewpoints. You this street corner, this guy's going to say something completely different than this, and there's more people too who are quietly like optimistic, I think, within a fan base than people realize. You just don't hear them as much. And that's not to, again, knock the skeptics, because there can be reason for, I mean, Husker football, hasn't quite rose to that level people have wanted for a while. And you can have that discussion, what's fair, what's not, how many years does it take, all that stuff. There's going to be that segment that says, I've been patient. I've been patient for a long time. And so I'm going to say what I want to say. And I can respect that. And then I do think there's a very good segment of people that are just like, I like with this coaching staff, for example, I like what they're doing. I want to see a little bit more, but I'm optimistic. There's that group out there. I don't think we always hear as much from them. And that's okay. But that's why it's hard though, to like, it can be hard to sometimes read. And I've done this too much in my writing over the years, where I'll sometimes try to speak it, like try to get in the mind of what's the popular vote on this particular thing we're talking about with the fan base. And that can be a dangerous place to be, like, because I think it's hard to nail that down sometimes.
Yeah, sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I guess so. Maybe obligation is the wrong word. I think sometimes I wonder what people are hoping to get out of their fandom. Maybe that's a better place. Like, sorry, I'm just processing this live with you here, BC. Yeah. But like, I can't remember if it was somebody we were talking to or somebody I heard on another platform, but they were talking about how sort of once you've gone through either a bunch of time as a coach or a player or a fan, you kind of sometimes you have this shift from, hey, winning is the only thing I care about, to like, we've talked to like Coach Ravel and Coach Rule and Coach Hurd from Omaha. We've talked to a bunch of these coaches recently, and they're talking about just sort of the experience of being with a team. And I think sometimes as a fan, like obviously you're not in the locker room, right? But I think sometimes as a fan, the thing I like the most about rooting for a team is just spending time sort of vicariously with that team. And so I think that's where, maybe there's not an obligation, but maybe if other people have different expectations from their fandom, then we're going to end up in very different places.
Yeah. I think at the end of the day, it comes down to this fan base is pretty reasonable in general. I really think so. and they just want a team, whatever sport we're talking about, where at the end of the game you're proud of it, where you said that's an effort that I'm proud of. And there's always going to be some people who's like, oh, that wasn't enough for me. But I think that can be a big opportunity. And I use the word opportunity for this football team this year. Like, I know, it is a tough schedule. That's been talked about to death. But I'm not going to go there. That's opportunity. That's opportunity for those guys to go into that type of game. And this fan base, I think they'll recognize if Nebraska football goes out there and puts it on the line for 4 quarters, and there will be variations of opinion of how those games go, even if it's close and you lose tight or whatever. But there will be an overall, I think, respect and pride in the direction of things if you go out and you just compete like heck in those type of games. And that's a sign of building the people too. I don't know that that's answering your question, but I think there's a lot of moments on this schedule that open the door for this team to go do that. And so sometimes people get in these off-season conversations like, how many games do they have to win or this or that? And that can be hard sometimes to put a number on it. I think that's dangerous too. But people kind of know it when they see it, when there's a program. And I think we saw this when Fred was starting to tilt it with basketball in like year 4, 5 for him, where they did slay a couple opponents, where, they beat Creighton one year in Omaha when they hadn't quite arrived yet, but they got that sort of win. And they had some games like that where I think there was sort of a momentum building up, even if the record wasn't quite to where like it was last year. And so I think there's that opportunity ahead too. So I probably took a different lane than your question was going toward, but that's sort of what popped into my head.
Oh, that's okay. I didn't actually ask you any questions, so that's on me for being a bad interviewer, but I appreciate you taking it anyway.
B Sizzle, what do you, so, and I'm asking you from the outside, I clearly get it. You're going to be like, well, Damon, you'd know better than me. But when you're watching kind of and getting some of the backstory now with what happened with Mo Purify and the second and kind of that recruitment deal and the due diligence, I call it due diligence just because I kind of know how Nebraska was thinking. You think it's obviously good, and I'm super I lack objectivity when it comes to Mo because just how close we are. But like when you're watching that from far away, and this is late in the recruiting game as a senior, like what were your 30,000-foot thoughts?
I respected both the due diligence Nebraska puts in on recruits like that, because I think this is a staff and that really cares about in-state prospects, and they want them to succeed. I truly believe that, and they want them to have good opportunities. They're not going to take someone just to take someone, so they like to build up like, yeah, that fits for us too. But I also really, really respect, and this was my favorite part of that story, is Purify's just attitude about it, that came through. Michael Bruntz actually talked to him for us. But I've talked to Marisa once or twice before. I haven't talked to him a lot, but he's a really engaging young guy, and just had a great outlook about it. And I always respect those athletes that don't worry so much about the timetable of how their recruitment happened, just that they were confident in themselves and they were growing in themselves. And like even in Marisa's interview to Bruntz, he talked about the improvements he made like his last year compared to like his junior year, and how he got a lot more done. Like he was very honest about that and assessing himself. And I just felt like he had a really good outlook as a player about, it took a little more time, but I'm excited as can be that it happened. And I worked to make it happen, and let's go with it now. And you don't worry about like when an offer came or when it didn't. And I really like those guys that have that sort of that mental frame.
Do you think the way that things worked out with Purify kind of exemplifies the type of person and type of recruit that Nebraska is looking for? Am I doing too much there?
I don't know. I mean, I have to think they really, he's one of those guys. He is very engaging, and I think that that would have to make an impact on a staff when you talk about guys like this. He's the type of player who's going to come work. Like, he's going to put in the work and be good on this roster and connect with guys and that sort of thing. I do think that matters a lot. Like, obviously, you got to have the skill set. You got to have some dudes who can ball out. That's where it starts. But you've got to have guys who love football and love to work and want to like really improve their craft every day. And he seems to have that sort of mindset. So, and obviously you see it with what he's doing with, track and field. And I think that's a big deal to coaches. I know it is, not just here, but across the country, is like, show me that, like these other sports, you go show it there too. Like they love that when guys are dedicated to just being great at whatever's in front of them at that moment. And obviously Maurice is doing that right now with some of the numbers he's putting up in track.
Okay. I'll save the specific Mo Purify for Bruntz. I like how you kind of, I don't want to steal his shine. I'll ask Bruntz because we're going to talk to him here too. But let me ask you this on the other side. What do you think it says about Nebraska with where they are, if anything, BC, not a leading question, about where they are in their recruiting process or how they like to recruit? Because they didn't have to do it. There's no, you know what I mean? Like, what do you think it says about them?
I would just say it says that we're not going to force something before we're ready to act on it with a player or a recruit. I go back to a quote Rule had a year or two ago. Like, you're competing to beat Ohio State, and I know what he's saying there. Like, you got to find the type of guys that you think can
get two masters. That one. Was that the serving of the two masters?
It might have been, but I really I know that was debated and talked about back then, but that point made a lot of sense to me. It's like, you have to look at everything through the lens of, we can't get just sentimental or whatever about this guy lives down the road or whatever. You have to like look at recruits in the basis of, do we think they can help us win against these type of teams and make decisions based off of that. And that's just the honest truth of it, especially as roster numbers were sort of dwindling at the time. So I understand like the patience with local guys and stuff like that's happened, but also it shows you, because you're right, within your question, you said they didn't have to do this right now. So they obviously, and this is where a guy like Maurice Purify would have to feel good. It's like, they think I can help. They've thought it through from different angles. And another cool part to that story was Keith Williams making the offer to him. And of course, Keith played with, his dad, who I actually covered and was thinking about some of the memories with him. And so, he's just a good fit because he's got great traits to succeed. He's been improving as a football player from year to year, and he's got a great mindset about it. If you Bruntz doesn't usually do this. He texted me after the interview a couple nights ago. He's like, "Man, that was a great interview." You just don't always, get guys like that anymore that are as engaging and just I think clear-headed about it as Maurice seemed to be when he talked to Bruntz.
Which is funny because he, as DB has testified, isn't a big talker.
But
interesting.
I will say this,
yeah,
and I'll save this for Bruntz. But I will say this, BC, so this came about. Obviously, Nebraska inquired, right? Wanted some data based on the numbers, and then we talked about tape, right? Junior to senior year. That's the backstory over the last 3 days, and I think I'll leave it there. So I debated. I'm sitting downstairs, and I'm like, do I call him? Do I not call him? Because at that point, I felt like Nebraska wouldn't just ask out of the clear blue, but I certainly wasn't gonna get his hopes up. So I thought about it for a second. And of course, I called, and he's taking finals. So I was like, okay, that's a sign from God. Let it go. Like, just leave it there. But he texts me back. He's like, my bad. I was just finishing up my finals so I can get something to eat before track practice. I said, hey, call me back. So I called him back, and I'm just talking to him, kind of getting a feel for where he was with what I was saying. I said, no, I'm not saying anything is going to happen. I just want to know, like, where's your head at with school and what you want to do? And BC, I'm just telling you, he said a ton without saying anything. He had this awkward pause, and he said, oh, man, I just want to be all in and play ball. Like, I just want to play ball for Nebraska. Mm-hmm. And I just was like, at no point in 2 years of all the conversations he and I had, did that ever come up. We didn't talk Nebraska. We didn't talk about his dad so much, like, because I'm kind of insecure and I don't want to put that on other people. Like, I don't put that on Caleb. I don't put that on Micah, right? So I certainly wasn't going to do it with him. So to hear him say that, I'm like, it was so Mo Peasy, because there's so much in there. He's just going to be really cautious on when and how he wants to share it. He is extremely thoughtful, though. Like,
yeah,
he is a smart, deep, thoughtful kid. Like, that I'm not surprised. I can't wait to talk to Bruntz now that I'm not rushing you.
No, that's thoughtful. I think that's what when Bruntz talked to him a couple nights ago, that's what stood out is thoughtful. Just about the process and understanding of how it played out for him. And he had that quote to Bruntz where it's like, they were like, Nebraska would like to offer you a full ride. And after I heard that, I was in. He said, that's my backyard where I grew up, and my dad played for them, so it didn't take long to hop in the boat. So I like that mindset when I guess some guys occasionally will run into recruits, they'll hold like a grudge, sort of like, oh, they didn't offer me here or there. And
it happens a ton.
Yeah. I just really respect when and I understand that to a degree, but like, here's a process that maybe it played out a little longer than you thought, or it didn't happen exactly on your timetable, but it happened. And I'll tell you what, by them offering this week, that like let's go back to that main sentence you said in one of your questions. They didn't have to do it, right now, like, it wasn't like that had to happen. They see something in you to do that. To make that move, you need to look at it that way. Like, they see that I have some game and I have a mentality that can help them. Otherwise, they would not do this right now. They're not just doing it as some charity case or anything like that. That doesn't happen anymore with these sort of offers. So as long as you have that outlook, you're golden going into it, at least. And I think he does.
Just showed me a different side of him from a recruiting aspect, because I've seen all angles, right? Whether it's been trying to get guys out of the portal or recruiting guys at the high school level, like, just the contrasting of the tape and watching numbers and being very particular. Okay, the weight is here, the work at, like, there was some serious, it wasn't all willy-nilly, right? It was kind of technical.
Yeah. And he enters an interesting group too, like wide receivers. Bruntz and I were talking about this the other day. Like, there's sort of these categories, and they're all interesting categories now within this roster. You've got, obviously, your kind of main three we talk about, like Quasi, Ja'Cory, and Isaiah. But then you have that group that sort of feels like they're on the fringe and they could really help out. You think of like Quinn Clark and Cortez Mills and maybe Keelan and stuff like that. And then there's this third group, and I think there's guys in that third group who can make some noise, and that's going to be an interesting thing how they push each other. And you're thinking about like Larry Miles and Nayland Scott and Jeremiah Jones, who, trying to push up and he joins that group that I think is pretty hungry too. So it's an interesting room they've got.
Yeah. Last one for me, BC. I do find, the process of this and the timing of it is super interesting, right? Because it feels like you used to be able to, and not even that long ago, you used to be able to have a really good senior year. You get it on tape.
Those were the days.
And then you'd have offers come in, right? Now it's like, if you're not committed before your senior year, you're trash. Get out of here. Enjoy JUCO or NAIA ball. Like that, it's a super weird.
The kids feel that too,
right?
Like that's not hyperbole.
So that's why, like, I'm fascinated by Mo Purify, right? Because as you said, the kids feel that. He knows, right?
We'll get him.
If the offers haven't come in by this point, like, my chances of going where I want to go are not great anymore, right? At least not immediately. Maybe you find an alternative route to get there, like some guys have, whether it's prep school or JUCO or whatever. But it's really, really fascinating that he still carried himself the way that he did through his senior year, even understanding the likelihood of this moment coming was astronomically low.
Wasn't even on the radar.
Yeah, it's a rare case. You're not afforded the opportunity as much as coaches and stuff to appreciate the growth of a player as a senior. And that kind of stinks. Like, it feels like, and I'm kind of thinking off the cuff here, but senior year of high school, like it used to be, where you could develop and you could show that to college coaches, and then the offer would come. Now it seems like that's transferred over to, oh, that didn't happen for you, so you go to a smaller school or the FCS or something for a year or two, and then that's when you kind of show that, I guess, and then you get some opportunities at the power conferences. So there was sort of an old school feel to this one that I like. And I know when Matt Rule first got here, and I think everything sort of changed even in the 3 years since he's been here, he talked about that one a few times, about just the senior year tape of guys and how useful that was to see not only the guys who weren't on your radar, but you get a better read on guys that you thought were really good at 15 or 16 maybe, or had the traits or potential, and you start to see, do they actually love this thing like they need to love it? Are they still producing, or do they still want to eat, sort of deal?
Are they still growing?
So I think this senior year stuff is so huge. And so that's a great thing about Maurice, is like he's climbing. Like that's what he was doing this last year.
BC, you know how astute that is. I think I can say this. To your point, the first people that knew about it in Lincoln that wasn't staff were, I think, Tyson Terry and Donovan Jones caught wind of it pretty quick. I hadn't said anything to Caleb. They told Caleb, and I think almost, I don't want to speak for him, but the consensus was, and what did all three of those guys have in common, right? Metro guys, local guys. The consensus was that they're excited because they feel like the culture is gravitating more towards, do we want to play ball or do we not want to play ball? Like, stripping away all the other stuff, it's, I'm either about this life and I'm grimy like that, or I'm not, because that's kind of how they are. So I think that's how they see the move. Like, I'm pretty safe. Like, that's how they see the move. And it's almost kind of just what you're talking about in terms of the traits that you want, because ultimately that's going to be the most sustainable.
Yeah. I mean, that's going to be the separating point for a lot of these programs, is who has the higher percentage of guys who love this, as you said, love this life, just love ball, who appreciate the grind. They weren't just good at football, but obviously got to be good at it, but they have more than that. They really enjoy the game. They want to be great at the game, and they love the details and getting inside the game. And finding those type of guys is going to be the biggest thing. And that's where the senior tape, it is too bad it gets so sped up now, because I think that gives you some good evidence on that front with players, because you see who is sort of maybe leveling off or resting on their laurels, or I'm this star guy and all that, and this is a cool story for the various, you ask great questions, because it touched on the parts of why it's a cool story beyond just the legacy factor. It's got more to it than that.
BC, appreciate the time as always. Thank you for allowing my odd departures today.
No, it makes me think. I always enjoy being on with you guys.
All right, buddy. We will talk to you next week.
Later.
I still got a leaky eye, Mr. Black Bean.
I I think that might be from the dizziness. I don't think I did that. That might be from the donuts in the parking lot. Is it cookies or donuts? Is there a difference?
It wasn't even fast. Shane, I couldn't have been going more than 15 mile an hour.
Could you have kept up running?
You're an idiot.
For all 6 donuts?
Whatever.
Or cookies?
Tight circle.
It's all right. That's Brian Christopherson from Husker 24/7. Coming up next, we've got Andy Kendeigh from KETV. That's DBM Ravi Lulla. It's Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, we talk all the time about standards, right? We don't talk a lot about goals. We talk about standards and what teams in the past have set, and these guys have taken that extremely to heart. So they've put in the work. They did what we've asked, and probably a lot more than that. And just so hats off to them for the work they put in. Yeah, sometimes you don't know exactly what you're going to get when you bring in a new player, right? And we've just been we hit the nail on the head this year. Just players that have fit in really good. We've got leaders that kind of lead the way and show them what we expect, but there really wasn't much of that this year. It was just it felt like they've been here more than a year and just been perfect fits. Yeah, you know what, we don't necessarily talk about that a lot at the beginning of the year, but our goal is always championships, right? That's always the goal that we set at the beginning of the year. So and you know we want it to be like that every year, to be honest with you.
I think headed down to Dallas the first time, we knew we were going to mix some things up with our lineup. We were going to get some players rest. We were in a fortunate situation that really the 3 or 4 seed didn't matter to us. I'm going to take this team over anybody. And so for us, it was what do we need to accomplish? Putting athletes out there kind of at risk for a match that maybe doesn't mean a whole lot was something that we'd be kicking ourselves right now if somebody went down. We got players we needed to. We got some answers to what we wanted in different areas. I'm excited. I think I like the size of the venue. It's a little bit smaller. The fans will be a little bit closer. I know that Novus Nation's going to travel well out there, and so it's going to feel a little bit more like a home game for us in that atmosphere. I think Indy brings a really good crowd, but I love our matchup with Indy. I think it's always a really competitive match no matter what. 2 great teams going at it. It's going to be whoever can stay clean and execute a little bit better is going to come out on top.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DBM Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. Shane, do we have AK?
Yes, we do.
All right. We've got Andy Kendeigh joining us now from KETV. Andy, how are we doing this morning?
Good, boys. Good morning. I'm battling traffic. I'm driving to Lincoln. Shocker, huh? This is a move out day for my middle child.
Oh, you're such a good dad. I try to listen. I don't know. I try to get out of that. Okay.
I tried. Believe you me, I tried.
So you're a lot more kind than I am. I get the, hey, I'm on my way. I'll be there in 90 minutes. Need X amount of freezer space. I have X amount of luggage. Help moving it inside would be cool. Thanks, family. Like that's we're in different spaces. AK.
This is a busy week too, because not only did we move out my sophomore in college, most of her stuff is there. She's going to go back for a couple wrap up things. But then my oldest, Carly, is graduating from college. How about that? A college graduate. It's like a blink, and she was a senior in high school about 2 seconds ago. So
I'm just crazy. I'm just glad their mom is so smart where they can finish college.
100%. And I got to thank you, DB, because Carly is going to be working for Huddle now, and she actually contacted you, and she works for Huddle and tries to make that interface a little more user friendly as she reached out to a whole bunch of coaches during her time as a intern. Now she will be a full-time employee at Huddle in Lincoln.
Listen, AKDB loves kids. Hey, so
he doesn't love a user friendly interface, so that's why he's still on Android.
He's such a hate. AK, are you Apple or Android guy?
I'm an Apple just because that's what work. Can you hear? Yeah, Apple. I'm an Apple guy. Yeah, just because that's what work gave me.
Okay, so I wake up to you on television every morning. I multi-screen Sports Center and KETV Channel 7, and here I caught this interview with Mo Purify.
Mm-hmm.
I get it, right? You guys are like, it's happening fast. You're interviewing him during track. How'd you even what were you thinking? What you wanted to ask him? How you guys were going to set that up, considering how fast it happened?
Well, all right, let's back up. We have a new sports person at KTV, Noah Sacco, I should say. See, I got to learn how to. I got to learn how to pronounce his name. How about that?
I like him already.
Noah's a great dude. Yeah, Noah Sacco, just like you put on your feet, Sacco. That's what he told me. So Noah goes out there yesterday, and I said, hey, I know Mo Purify is doing the triple jump. Just see if you can catch up to him, and see if you can, just chat with him about his commitment, the whole bit. And so, the beauty of Noah is he's a Millard North guy, which is great. And so he knows the deal. He knows how big of a deal Metro Track is, and he knows how big of a deal Mo Purify is. And so catching up to him, Noah said that he was totally cool. Like he was appreciative of not only the moment, but also the invitation to join Nebraska's program, because when you think about it, I mean, shoot, we're in May and he's joining the class of 2026, so that's a big deal, right? And he was just thankful that there was a spot for him. So good on him, and he could be a steal. This is a guy who could really develop into something terrific, if he stays the course and develops the way Nebraska hopes he does. But a good kid, and obviously his athleticism just screams that he can develop into something special. Because if a kid's a long jumper and a triple jumper, he's got the goods. And obviously he's got great hands, as you know, DB, and you've seen him throughout his high school career. He's got some major potential and a huge high ceiling, and I think it's a terrific pickup for Nebraska.
I get it, West Side guy, and he's close to me, and I literally just hung up with him about 10 seconds ago. The ceiling is spot on, way better days ahead. But my favorite, because you know me, he doesn't need a babysitter. Right, without the attention and the fanfare, it could have gone south. He likes track. I don't know how much he loves it. He's naturally good at it. He just kept perfecting his craft, competing against the best version of himself. That's really who he is. I promise you.
Yeah, and he, finished second in the triple jump yesterday. He'll probably win the long jump if it all goes to form today. And I like the fact that you have kids that obviously who have the experience of just being around, say what you will, but when your kids have a parent that played, there's just something innate that you even have to teach because they've been around it so much. You know what I'm saying? Like they know the expectations. They know that you got to work your tail off. Nothing's handed to you. And I think that falls in line with Maurice. I think he's going to be a terrific addition. And I think maybe if you look back in a couple of years, that you're just like, God, they got this guy on May 5th or 4th or whatever. And I mean, my goodness, and he's a major contributor. That's what the hope is. And hopefully he takes this opportunity and runs with it.
They loaded. They asked all the right questions leading up to it too, which makes it easier for me or whomever. I mean, it's not a me. It makes it easier for people that are sharing the information with Mo. That you're not throwing them to the wolves, right? Because the part that people miss in this deal is, say what you want about what our relationship is with Nebraska or pressure or such and such a player is there, so that means I should do this or I do. Listen, I'm for kids first, right? So I'm not going to try to put you in any sort of positions where I think somebody could do you bad, because I have to eat that too, right? It's like I'd rather be respected than well liked. So Nebraska was asking all the right questions ahead of time where I felt comfortable, like kind of cluing him in, because I waited till the last. I mean, you just have to make sure, right? Because I don't want him set up for something that isn't going to go well.
100%, and you've seen it. You've seen it go the other way, DB.
Yes. Oh, yes, I have.
You know,
yes,
I mean, honestly, if the kid's not ready, or you don't think he's got the ceiling to develop into that level, you're not going to say, "Hey, Matt Rule," or "Hey, whoever you're talking to at Nebraska, like this kid's legit." You're not going to say that because it comes back to you, and then they're not going to come asking for advice then, because you have seen kids at both levels, all levels really. You know when a kid has that it, like he has it, and if he can develop into something special, you're going to give him that opportunity. But if nothing else, I know that you're a straight shooter. If you didn't think this kid had the goods, you'd be like, maybe he's he'd be a better fit, blank, name the school. You know what I mean? Or at this level. But, the fact that and I know people are like, oh, he played for, of course he's going to say that he's a West Side guy. I understand where people come from, but that's not true. I've seen you go out on a limb for kids from Gretna or, Elkhorn South, or, okay, maybe not Gretna. I'm kidding. But you know what I mean? I mean, you are a kid's first guy. So the fact that you give him an endorsement, this is a big deal.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, this isn't about me, but I will say this, and then I'm going to run for cover. Like there wasn't a bigger Jet Tamala or a Marion Jackson fan 2 years ago than me. Right. And I knew that they were going to be a thorn in our side. So I'm cool with that. But anyway, back to the good stuff. What are we doing? So we've got Creighton softball on tomorrow. We got Coach Wood, who she reminded me the other day that I used to have a youth program, and she was one of my counselors. So I've hired I had Coach Wood, I had Shanley, I had Jake Peets, I've had Garth Glissman, I've had Kenny and Taiwo Anatolu. Why can't I do better in my professional life, AK?
You know what, DB? Some people are just the trees, and you give off good branches. I'm
rotten to the core. Everybody else is blooming. Hold on. Can we pause for a second here? I think getting to hang out with me every day is doing great professionally.
Yeah.
Come on. I feel like
how's Ravi feel now? Ravi, are you doing all right? I mean, that's a blow to you, right?
Do you not listen to this guy? He's a menace. I thought we were all just having fun.
AK, how are you splitting up the time, man? Creighton's in postseason. Nebraska's got Iowa this weekend. You've got Metro Track. What are we doing?
Oh, my goodness. And, Nebraska plays out in Maryland softball. You got Nebraska baseball at home against Iowa. Yeah. And Nebraska playing Iowa baseball this weekend. Noah's actually making his anchoring debut tomorrow. I've got to do I'm emceeing the Boys Town Booster Banquet tomorrow. which is kind of a cool thing. I've never emceed that event before, but the cool part is Anthony Rizzo is our guest, so it'll be fun to talk to him. And my dad, we grew up a Cubs fan.
That's unfortunate.
So it would be interesting to get his perspective. Yeah, well, I mean, you are a product of where you really grow up, so it will be interesting to see what Anthony Rizzo has to say, and his story is pretty unique too. So we got that Thursday. I've got college graduation. Lauren's going to be running all over the place. This is the start of the sprint to the finish. I say, because this is really where you kick it over.
We've got all sorts of finals too in Metro and State coming up at the back end of May. Is anybody going to the plush, perfect locale for softball known as Maryland?
No. We are not going to the softball capital of the America. We are not going there. No, I can't believe it. But you got to rotate it, I guess. But man, that just seems like an odd fit.
It's like, really, guys?
You say odd fit. I say bad decisions, but that's fine.
Yeah.
I will say, AK, you say you're a product of where you're growing up. I'm just glad that you finally are getting some products that are salt of the earth around there. Millard North guys like Noah. They can kind of counterbalance. No offense, but you're the Wisconsin in you. Like you need some good, clean living to counteract that Wisconsin. So I'm glad you guys are finally on the straight and narrow around there.
Yeah, we finally seen the light. And with my sophomore at Millard North, it really has opened my eyes to the good life over at 144th.
You understand now that it's there's nothing like a Millard North kid.
Very true. Very true. And, we forgot. We even mentioned district soccer. We got finals tonight and tomorrow, and district baseball coming up. So state tournament for soccer starts next week. I mean, this is it, boys. This is the you see the finish line right ahead, and it's about 3 weeks away.
So Noah's got to be pretty happy because speaking of baseball, Millard North is on the come. Like objects in your rearview mirror may be closer than they appear. How about their emergence?
Yeah, and I think they are here to stay. And it's funny because I think people tend to just say, "Oh, you look at the rankings," and they just say, "Oh, Lincoln East and West Side." I think the field is much closer than people believe. I think Millard North has a chance. I think Creighton Prep has a chance. I think the battle, the state tournament is going to be as wide open as it has been in years. And I think anybody, if they get hot with the right pitching. I mean, we can say this at the college level. If you get hot with the right pitching, you're going to win games, and you have a chance. And we'll just see what happens in the next couple of weeks.
All right, the most important question before we let you go: are you moving any furniture?
Well, I only have one vehicle, which is a blessing. So I've been told that it will not all fit in one trip. So we're going to be a little back and forth with graduation this weekend. So. At least step one, I have a CRV, which is we had to do some car swapping today so I could drive this thing. And I don't know, CRV, you can only fit so much in this bad boy. So we'll see how it goes. Wish me luck, though.
Listen, I drive a Subaru. There's no shaming. You don't have to, openly admit that you have to swap vehicles. It's okay if you rock the CRV, AK.
It's all right. Yeah, the man CRV. I look pretty cool in this. If you see me on I-80, give me a wink.
Subaru Legacy.
Hey, whatever works. Give me from A to B. That's what I said.
Right.
That's our guy, Andy Kendeigh, KETV. AK, appreciate the time as always. Safe travels back and forth from Lincoln as you get all that done this weekend. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, AK.
Thanks, boys.
That is Andy Kendeigh. We will be right back with Michael Bruntz, Husker 24/7. I imagine we'll talk a little Husker baseball and maybe a little more Mo Purify. With
I'm all in on the interview.
We'll be right back.
It feels good. I have to tell you, I didn't even think about it until somebody said, how your team celebrated. And we did celebrate. And we're not discounting it. And we're not actually looking beyond it or looking forward to anything beyond that. I mean, we are looking forward to things beyond that. But here's the thing. I felt like we've just had this business about us this year. And we talked about joy. We've talked about all the things. But it's just like like I said, we were just trying to win pitches and win another game. And we were able to do that. And then, some special things happened because of that. And even after we won the first game, we knew that we had clinched at least a share. And then after we won the second game, I had to triple check. I mean, I was like making Aaron call everybody, like make sure, because I do want to tell them that we just clinched it, but I didn't want to say something that I had to take back. So, but there was a real calmness. There was a real peacefulness about it that wasn't so like out of your mind with excitement, even though it does feel like it's very exciting, but it's been in our body of work. It's not, we've just been plodding along. I don't even know if that makes sense.
Oh my gosh, it's so cool. It's not something that I would have expected just because usually, outfielders aren't really recognized, but it's really cool, and it's really cool to see all of my hard work and all of our hard work in general pay off. It's really cool. It's kind of a thank you to the girls before me because they really showed me what the work ethic is and how to step in here and kind of do things the way that we do it, and they really showed me the way, so it kind of goes back to them. It's really cool. And seeing all of our hard work pay off, I say it a lot, but, we come and we show up every day. It's really cool to see it finally pay off and not have to share it with anyone.
Welcome to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live, presented by NextGen Male Medical. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ.
We gotta have some speaks.
So I was talking to our guy Nick at NextGen.
Yeah.
And we decided to give our fine listeners a little deal.
Oh, good.
Because we're trying to we're just like, hey, listen, it's about summertime. We're trying to get people, we care about their health.
Looking right.
Looking right, feeling right.
You don't want the cold pool to bother you?
So here.
I'm just playing. I meant to look good in your trunks.
Well, yeah, you got to be lean, right? So we decided.
Or whatever it is you wear.
Listen, No judgment. Yeah, some people drive
No,
Subaru.
there's plenty of judgment in the chat. We're going to have a talk here in a second.
Some people drive Subaru. Some people wear trunks.
Oh, here we go. You're rocking with these guys?
No, I would never. But we decided, you know what? We're for the month of May. If you tell them that DB and Ravi sent you, tell them you're from Hurrdat Sports, you will get your consultation absolutely free to go check it out. That means you've got zero risk to go talk to them, see what they can do for you, see if they can get you feeling your best. So mention that you're coming from Hurrdat Sports Live, and you will get your consultation for free because they care about your overall health and they want to help you out. Give them a call, 402-614-9700.
We have our guest, by the way.
Big Red Gun, I thought we were boys, man. He's like one of my favorites.
Did you see Heath's comment?
Dude, he gets a little grace because he just gave me a little sugar earlier. But you said Heath has that side in him, though.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Big Red Gun just comes with a scud out of nowhere. I'm going to ask Bruntz. No, every time I ask our guest, it never goes the way I want to.
Yeah, I think your batting average on that's not great.
All right,
let's get to our guy. Let's get to Michael
Bruntz has some sense.
Husker 24/7. Bruntz, what's going on, man? How we doing?
Not bad. How are you guys?
Good. I miss your smiling face. Are you okay?
Yeah, I didn't make it all the way home from drop off, so you don't get the face today. I'm sorry.
I have a question. Well, I have two. Number one, I'm going to stick with the drop off. Why the 6 or 7 minute variance? Like, what changes knowing you got to go there every day?
Lincoln.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it's I got 2 places to go, and I've got the problem. Here's my problem. So I've got first drop off around 8.
Okay.
Second drop off, I've got a window that I have to hit between like 8:45 and 9. And there's an order to the drop off, the second drop off, where you can't just let the kid out. So you got to wait. So if you get to the back of the drop off line, you're gonna be there for a while. And then Lincoln, basically Lincoln between about 48th and A and where I live is just one big hellhole of school zones and
I know
lights.
Yeah. Okay.
So that's that gets you about 6 to 7 minutes. That's where the variance is.
Okay, now we're going to have a relatively thoughtful conversation, but this next question really depends on our it's important. Okay, Bruntz?
Okay.
Any preconceived notions that I drive a Subaru?
No.
Thank you. You answered it quickly. The rest of this interview will be fun.
You're just a man that likes all-wheel drive. I get that.
And reliability. And safety features. It's one of the highest rated safety features on the road.
Why do I believe Bruntz, but you sound like a condescending prick?
I don't know. That's really hurtful.
What do you mean?
I was trying to back up what Bruntz said with more positives about being a Subaru driver.
That's not.
You see what I deal with on an everyday basis, Bruntz?
Bruntz knows what I'm dealing with.
It's a lot of hostility over here.
Yeah.
I'm not really sure why.
Bruntz, if you were going to send a box of Kleenexes, who would get it first, me or Robbie?
I don't know. There's a lot of tiny violins to send your way. I don't know.
Your eyeball's leaking, so you probably need it more
I
than I
am,
do.
man. This dude cracked another racist blast in the middle of a drink, and I've been leaking oil ever since, Bruntz. I spit out my drink.
We were talking about beans. Just every time I say black, it's not about you, man. I was talking about beans. Talking about what type of beans we like, and I was like, I like refried beans and I like black beans.
All right. First things first, before we get to your talk with Purify, Bruntz. It is now week 1 officially, a full 7 or 6 days because you're a day early. Your A's are still atop the West. You said it would be 3 weeks. You're a third of the way there. You're not surprised with the 2-game cushion, huh?
No, the opponents that are on the schedule worry me a little bit to keep that up, but I'm betting heavily on the mediocrity of the American League, and so far I've been rewarded for that. So, it's they're playing fine baseball. Severino looked like trash last night on the road, which was a bit of a surprise. But I've got faith. I've got faith in the big Amish and the rest of his hitters that they can keep it going. So hopefully 2 more weeks.
All right, to the important stuff. So we talked to BC first. We rarely get the 247 guys on the same day, so I appreciate you.
I told him to go long so I'd have to talk less, by the way. I told him to filibuster.
But the human filibuster. Bruntz, we enjoy you, though. It's a very popular segment.
I find that hard to believe, but I appreciate the sentiment.
Jeez, you're like a great big wet blanket, man. Like
I'm fun at parties, though, Damon. Let me tell you.
Well, I saw you at one. Didn't I see you at Hurd's party? Wasn't that where we first kind of connected that you guys knew each other?
It was he wasn't hosting, but yeah, that's right.
How long ago was that?
Long time ago.
Had you just gotten married, or were you married yet?
No, I've been married well before that. Okay. Coming up on a 20-year anniversary. You guys got any gift ideas?
I don't know her personality other than she seemed exceptionally bright. So maybe a trip to NASA.
I don't think that's her particular area of academic interest, but
dude, let's go.
She was.
Hey, honey, I love you. We're gonna go talk aeronautics.
Hey, how about have you like toured MIT or like?
I do know a guy down at NASA. If that helps, if you need a little hookup.
Humble brag. My uncle, this really smart Indian guy, started OnStar navigating.
I mean, that's not exactly true. OnStar kind of. Never mind. Yeah, I don't think that's Mrs. Bruntz's particular.
And then there's you talking about
why
beans.
Why don't you guys think about it? And we can have maybe a little bit more focused brainstorming session in June.
Can I ask one question? Like if we were playing a couples game?
Yeah.
What are her hobbies?
Well, she runs. I don't know that that's a hobby. I would say it's not, but
a nice new pair of New Balance or Asics. Is that too low budgety for 20?
Or she a Hoka type?
It feels a little bit. I don't know that running shoes would get the job done.
Well, I got it. Go get a couple of plane tickets. Have the in-laws take care of the kiddos. Go to Boston, eat good vegan food, and watch the marathon.
I made her the last time we were in Boston. I made her do the Fenway Park tour.
You made her?
Yeah.
Hey,
it was in March. It was like early March. It's like we're gonna go sit on the wind-whipped Green Monster and look around.
Bruntz, you're a treat.
Honestly,
you have no idea.
Sounds like the perfect day, Bruntz. I'm gonna be honest with you.
It was a top 10 day for me. I don't know about her, but
her rankings may differ.
Yeah.
Hey, so BC, like he shot it. He blew his load. He was like, "Hey,
whoa, don't cut that."
Oh, geez. Time out. Hang on. Okay.
I tried so hard.
Stop
I
it.
tried so
Stop
hard.
it. Stop it.
Okay.
Can we get Bruntz in the first hour?
Listen, stop it. Let me read Brunt or I can't even focus now. BC spilled the beans.
Okay, there we go.
What kind of beans?
Black. Spilled the beans. And said, "Hey, you guys, come on, man. I'm hurt. I'm sorry. God dang it."
Sorry, guys.
No, you're not. Knock it off. When I can hear you through the glass, that's too much laughing.
We might lose Rico.
Dude, I've had some screw-ups. I have had some screw-ups. Okay.
I'm good.
Now that
Sorry, that was the start to a very earnest question, and I ruined that. Go ahead.
Okay. BC spilled the beans.
Okay.
He's like, hey, Bruntz isn't really like this, but after his sit down with Purify, he called and he used words that it's how I talk about Purify, right? Like he's very thoughtful. He's a deep thinker. There's a lot in there, even though he doesn't talk very much. How'd you get it out of him? Or when you know, I'm so flustered. When did you know that you could get it out of him?
Oh, I mean, when here's the thing that's kind of cool about that story is like, I don't know. Like it feels like there's just kind of a rhythm to recruitments a lot of times where, there's not kind of that, there's not the surprise anymore. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like, he's on his way home, phone starts blowing up, and you get that opportunity that, in his words, I mean, that was number one all along. Like that's what he wanted, where he wanted to be. It means a lot to him. I mean, he talked about it. I mean, the fact that it came from Keith Williams, that meant a lot to him, as somebody that he's known for a long time outside of, with the recruiting process, with his family connections. So I don't know. I mean, I think for sometimes whenever things kind of come together in a way that you hope they would, you can appreciate stuff like that pretty quickly. And so that was kind of cool, that, everything came together for him. And, legitimately, I think he was pretty surprised that it did, with the way that everything played out. So that was cool. I mean, I think when you have a situation like that where it means a lot to somebody, and like I said, where things line up and the opportunity's there, and you've worked hard to get there. And I think he has. I mean, when you look at the production, I mean, Damon, I don't need to tell you this, but I mean, you look at the production from junior, senior year, and, I think what he kind of focused on in his last year of being more of a complete wide receiver, it paid off, and that's a really cool thing.
Yeah. So I kind of I did call him. You can attest to this.
Yeah.
Just to make sure I have present, because he and I are obviously really close. And, when the rumblings first started, Bruntz, that he was on Nebraska's radar, I debated on whether to call him or not. And after I talked to Coach Rule, I debated, and I finally called, and he was at school taking the test. And so when he didn't answer, I was like, that must be, that's a sign I probably should just wait. Cause I'm kind of protective of him. Right. Cause even when I asked Nebraska, like what they were thinking, it took forever to get a response. So then I wasn't going to say anything. Right. So when I called him and we were talking, I told BC, like, just as awkward, the pause, and how appreciative he was that, like, he was just being noticed. Right. And I told him, I said, I just want to reach through the phone and hug you. I said, are you good? He's like, yeah, just keep me posted. And I was like, will do. May take a while, but hey. And it happened much, much, much faster than I thought it would. But I knew the lead-up questions where they were pitting the times against the weight, and then his weight gain, and then the work ethic, and then asking about the strength. They were asking all the right questions, right? Comparing junior tape to senior tape. So I felt comfortable. And I got to tell you something, Bruntz. When he got off to he was really good as a junior, but we were loaded outside the numbers. Like, we were pretty good, and he's really unassuming, so it's easy for him to kind of get lost in the fold, because he doesn't command attention during practice, right? He just minds his own business. And last year he got off to the slow start. He had the early offers, Power 4 offers. They got pulled. We had a meeting on Thursday. Coach Manji came in early, and he's like, hey, Damon, he's like, how do we broach this? We talked to Coach Rob. We talked to a couple of the coaches. I was like, well, just keep him in the loop, right? Like, he'll be fine. Let's keep him in the loop. So Coach Manji handled it. They went in the back room. He told them, and 24 hours later, we were playing, and I asked for permission to tell this story.
Mm-hmm.
We asked for, and that night, Bruntz, we're at Bellevue West. A ton of coaches. I mean, a lot of Power 4 coaches were there, and Mo played okay. But the best play that he made, Bellevue West was starting to make a run. We got out to a good lead, but they played so hard, and they didn't go away. And they had just forced a turnover. They had knocked the ball out from Braylon from behind. They got I remember this like it was yesterday. And they came down and scored. It was kind of in flux. We were driving again. And they knocked the ball away from Braylon again because we were trying to get Braylon going in the QB run game. It was when we first kind of figured out like he can be mobile too. And the best play that Mo made was there were 3 Bellevue West defenders there. I'm not kidding you, Bruntz. Mo dives for the ball, zero hyperbole. He gets speared like he was the anti-Cam Newton in the Super Bowl, right? Like just Bruntz, he just gave himself up and he got smoked. And he's probably 7 feet from me in the sidelines. And he is like, because you could tell he like got
all the wind knocked out of him.
Yeah. And he recovered the football. 1 out of 3 T-Birds. He didn't play again. Or he played sparingly. We couldn't really use him like we wanted to. And he got better like the next 2 weeks, obviously, and he really started to come on. But after that game, we're in the locker room and we do shout outs. And I felt like, am I being objective just because we're close or what? But I said, hey, I just want to shout out, Mo Purify the second. The best play that he made was one that isn't going to show up on the stat sheet. He gave himself up, recovered the fumble, hurt himself in the process. We hope he's okay. And we're all in the locker room and they're kind of standing up on the benches, and he just kind of put his head down and he's just kind of whimpering. And I didn't know whether it was like out of jubilation. I gave him a hug afterwards, and I'm telling you, Bruntz, like this dude just worked. No scholarship offers. You lost a couple in a few weeks. You make a hustle play that nobody's going to be thinking about. And then as you guys saw going all our game, like he's probably our best, he was the best player not named Tay Jenkins, right? Like where he just kept making plays, and then track hit Bruntz. Like, I just had to tell you that story because I think it fits with how you talk to him. I wanted you to know that.
Yeah, no, that's a really illuminating story. I mean, and
it's 100% factual.
And you mentioned the track piece of it too.
I just stayed with it.
Yeah, I mean the 24 number, that's a big number, and to go over 24, I mean, it's pretty impressive, and it is pretty good. I don't know. I think sometimes the track stuff backs up what you see on the film. There's probably a little bit of confirmation of explosiveness there, based on what he's shown. So, like I said, I mean, it's he from talking to him the other night, I mean, it worked out for him, and he was kind of in a situation that some guys find themselves in, where all of a sudden, whatever offers or spot you maybe had suddenly dries up, and there's not much you can do about that. Like, you're just kind of stuck. So, it ended up working out. And, I don't know. I mean, like you see the senior production, you see the way that the track numbers are trending. I mean, he's on an upward trajectory there. And that's a good time to be getting in on a player like that.
Bruntz, when you're looking at the way this recruitment went down, it sort of feels like the type of guy that Coach Rule and staff offered a lot early when they got here. We talked about track times a ton a few years ago, right? We talked about projecting. And if they look like this and they can run or jump like this, then, we don't care what the star ratings are, and we don't care about any of that. We think we can turn them into a really good football player and potentially a professional football player, right? And we haven't seen nearly as much of that over the last cycle or two. Do you think that's, I'll just ask, why do you think that is, that we've sort of seen, because we had that one class where it seemed like there was a bunch of them, the first couple classes, I think, haven't seen that as much with the last two. Why do you think that is?
Well, the last class, the 26 class is so small. You just didn't have the ability to kind of, you don't call them flyers, but you didn't have the room to, pursue players like that. I think that, I don't know. I would be curious to see if Nebraska, if you had the truth serum, if they would say that they're getting as many players through their camps that kind of fit that bill as maybe you did 4 years ago. My suspicion is no. I think it's a little less, where you get those stories of guys that show up and run 4.3 or 4.4, and then all of a sudden they have that. Rex Guthrie's kind of the last one that kind of comes to mind that followed that route, and he's kind of the one guy of those types of air quotes track guys that's gotten on the field. There's been a lot of guys that were kind of, the measurables, track times, whatever, and you can teach and play football kind of a thing that hasn't panned out real well. I do think too that, the roster size limitations are a real thing too. You can't, it's a little bit more difficult to take guys like that versus.
He has to fit your room, especially that room.
Yeah. I think there's a number of reasons why you've seen you've seen less of that. I think the portal's probably affected it a little bit too. So I don't know. I don't think there's just one reason, but I agree. I don't know that they've maybe gotten the juice out of those types of players the first few years of his time there that maybe they were hoping to either.
Does Jeremiah Charles fall under that category for you?
He does.
He
does.
Good call.
Because I think I know it's taken longer on some of these guys, but I think that might be one that pays dividends here shortly.
Yeah, he's one. Guthrie's another. It wasn't a track situation, but Malcolm Simpson was a basketball player first. And that's a guy that it was kind of like, well, the football talent, you can kind of see it in there, but we love the basketball athleticism, and that was kind of Jeremiah Charles's thing. I know that Charles has the jumps to go with it, but it was the basketball thing that kind of got Nebraska's attention immediately with him. But no, I like the camp type guys and the guys that are just track guys that you try to teach them football. I think you just maybe haven't gotten as much return on investment there as maybe they would have hoped early on.
Bruntz, let me get your hat on this, since Shane is bluffing the music. It's the DJ in him. He's just like
he'd be better at fading it in and out than he is,
Scratch. That's just the DJ itch in him. When you're looking at, do you think, and this is kind of isolated, right? You're not going to see a ton of seniors in May, but it may speak more to Nebraska and how they want to do their due diligence in terms of recruiting in state. Are you ready to make any correlations there, or do you have any kind of takeaways from how the process actually played out?
I don't know. I guess I would need to maybe see it a little bit more. I think it's.
It's kind of more old school. This isn't real new age,
Yeah, and it's probably one of those things too, when as you get further into, getting down to 105, if you have a spot or two, you don't it's not like a walk-on thing, but it's almost kind of like the old way that like you would find a guy that's right around signing day or something like that, and you get him in the class that way. I don't know. It's also kind of tough too to have guys be that patient and wait for that opportunity. I mean, we're in what was May, first week of May here, right? Like, to ask a guy to hold on that long, I don't know how common that's going to be, but I do think you kind of play the evaluation out. And, if there's a guy out there that, that does things that you like, and there's enough markers that you feel confident about what the direction can be, and a guy's kind of wired the right way, I think it makes sense to bring him in if you have the room. So, I don't know if that's a larger trend, but, it worked out in this situation for sure.
Bruntz, we'll let you go on that. Next week, I'm gonna give you a little homework. Okay.
Okay.
I would like to talk about what you think the staff's philosophy is in evaluating and recruiting in-state prospects.
Oh, that's a light topic.
That's why I gave you a little heads up on it.
Bruntz, can I ask one more thing?
You may.
I know you're real sketchy with your decision making on how you consume protein, but do you like candy?
Yes, I like candy.
What's the oldest of the old school candies you like?
I'm a peanut M&M junkie.
So but that's not that old. I mean, it's old, but like things that like, ooh, those are hard to find.
Oh, they've got them everywhere now, but you guys ever had the high chews?
Oh,
high chews are fire.
They used to be hard to find though.
They were really hard to find. You had to go to like the Asian grocery stores were like the one place you could find them regularly. Those are pretty. I'll just like go scorched earth on a package of those if I find one.
Listen, the funniest thing about that, our Playfly radio crew to a person smashes high chews.
You gotta, if you get it's almost like a clip, of the high chews. You got to give them a little squeeze though, because sometimes they sit at the cash register a little bit too long. And the worst is if you bite into a high chew that's like been sitting there for 6 months.
It's like a Jolly Rancher.
I'm the high chew delivery boy to the studio. The coaches, those are just as go-to. Like high chews those are very popular. And now they have. When I first started, it was like basic. I got tropical and fruit mix and dessert and sours and
I'm old school with that. I go grape or strawberry. I don't want anything else. Don't get at me with the new flavors. Just give me grape, give me strawberry.
I'm shocked you're into seersuckers and white belts. Like that's it's throwing me that you're kind of a simple guy, Bruntz.
Simple man, Damon.
Just like Leonard Skinner. That's our guy, Michael Bruntz. We will talk to you later, buddy. Have a good week.
Yep.
Coming up next, we got Dan Rosen from NHL.com. Talk a little hockey playoffs. We'll be right back at Hurrdat Sports Live.
Yeah, we talk all the time about standards, right? We don't talk a lot about goals. We talk about standards and what teams in the past have set, and these guys have taken that extremely to heart. So they've put in the work. They did what we've asked, and probably a lot more than that. And just so hats off to them for the work they put in. Yeah, sometimes you don't know exactly what you're going to get when you bring in a new player, right? And we've just been we hit the nail on the head this year. Just players that have fit in really good. We've got leaders that kind of lead the way and show them what we expect, but there really wasn't much of that this year. It was just it felt like they've been here more than a year and just been perfect fits. Yeah, you know what, we don't necessarily talk about that a lot at the beginning of the year, but our goal is always championships, right? That's always the goal that we set at the beginning of the year. So and we want it to be like that every year, to be honest with you.
listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
And a little one-touch passing play through center with speed. Here comes McKinnon. Racing down the right-hand side. Drops to Natchez in the slot. Backhander. Score! McKinnon drops. Natchez carries. Roofs it on the backhand. 1-0. A breakaway off the goal. And ready answer by Minnesota.
Welcome back, Hurrdat Sports Live. That's DB. I'm Ravi Lulla here at Hurrdat Sports HQ. We are joined now by Dan Rosen, senior writer for NHL.com and host of the NHL The Rink podcast. Dan, how are we doing this morning? Oh, do we have him?
Uh-oh. Oh, I heard. Danny there, bud?
We might be on a little delay here. Guys, can we see if we can figure what's going on with Dan there?
Oh, muffins.
Good intro there by Shane.
I kind of want to hear that again.
The hockey intro?
Yeah. And how did that happen, Bruin Steve? Like, I get it with the lottery.
Or with the Maple Leafs getting
the
the
Leafs
pick.
got the first pick.
Yeah, I thought I read there was a better chance they'd fall past 6 than that they would get number 1.
It's I don't know.
So,
especially on the heels of their new hires where everybody's like all the hand wringing.
I need you to, I don't know. I know that you get into the weeds on stuff like this. Do you know off the top of your head, like what this NHL draft is considered? Like, is that?
It will be good.
Okay.
It's a good draft.
Okay.
It's a good draft. I don't think it'll be elite, but it will be a good
like
draft.
There's no like Connor McDavid.
Well, I mean, no,
but like I'm saying when he was a prospect, like I'm not talking about now. You remember how he was talked about
more Hughes-ish.
Okay, because you remember how they were talking about like as a prospect. That's what I mean. I'm not saying results.
I don't see that.
Okay, there's no one that they're looking at that they're saying like, hey, this is the guy.
But there's I think it's good. I think it's good quality.
Is there a consensus one?
God, it's the Leafs.
I mean, if it was like in general, is there like, hey, this is like for most
I'm gonna say McKenna. Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, there is.
Okay.
Yes.
We can try Dan again.
Okay, let's try Dan.
Guys got me?
Hey, there we go. Dan, how we doing this morning?
Good. I'm sorry about that. Technical difficulties, shall we say, right?
I'm just gonna ask real quick because you're good natured with your pods. Do you believe in conspiracy theories?
No, I do not. There's no conspiracy theory at all. No, there is not. I don't believe in it.
So if you can function in uneasiness, you're watching pressers. The Leafs press that had to take the cake. I mean, that was.
Oh, yeah.
Listen, I've talked to I've never heard a question asked that. Well, let me set the. So basically, there was a hire made for the Leafs. Kind of shaky on the surface. It's the Leafs. I've talked about how listen, for a storied franchise, they may have to start over. And the reporter was like, "Listen, I talked to 20 guys in the league. A lot of them, you guys know. 19 of them didn't have anything good to say about the hire. Like it was awkward at best. And then 20 hours later, they get the number 1 pick." With horrible odds to get the number 1 pick. Coincidence?
Yep. No, I don't believe in that theories and stuff. I know what you're saying. I mean, here's the thing. You got to look at it the other way. Like, people look at it and say, oh, the Vancouver Canucks had these odds. They also had like an 81% chance of not getting the number 1 pick. Okay, so there is the reverse of it. Just because you have the best odds of getting the number 1 pick, it doesn't mean you're going to get it, because your odds are way better that you're not going to get it than they are that you are going to get it. Okay, because like I don't think any of us would make a bet and say, well, I got an 80% chance to lose, right? Like, here we go. So the question in that press conference, though, so Steve Simmons from the Toronto Sun asked that question.
Yeah.
You got to know Steve Simmons. He's very direct. He's been at this a very long time. I know him. Like, he's very direct. He's been at this a very long time. He feels, and he's right to feel this way, I got nothing to lose by asking this question. Now, if that's me, and I'm not going to criticize Steve Simmons at all, but if that's me, I want to ask that question one-on-one. I want to ask that question in a setting where I can get the guy, Keith Pelly, who he was asking that question to, the president of MLSE, one-on-one, nobody else around, right? And get a real response, not a shock. Like there was a shock and awe to that question. That being said, it's a hard question to ask.
Mm-hmm.
He backed it up in that question with his own research.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like he has to prove that research in his story.
And he threw out a specific number too. He said 20.
Yes. So he's not going to ask that question the way he asked it and put himself on a line unless he's done that homework, unless he's done that research.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go, if you ask anybody around the league, they're going to tell you he's a con man. He said, I spoke to 20 people personally. How did you come up with a different conclusion than I came up with from the people I spoke to in a very short period of time? So I thought it was actually a great question,
mm-hmm.
A hard question in a market that is hard. Like Toronto is there, you know, it's a hard media market on the Maple Leafs. I just would have preferred that question. If I'm going to be the reporter, I would ask it in a one-on-one setting away from the cameras, because what it does, that question becomes the story. You as the reporter become the story.
Oh.
That's not what you want. We are not the story. We are there to tell the story and report the facts.
Okay, so Dan, so I have to ask you about this because we have our market's interesting in that I think a lot of people,
the energy is similar.
Yeah, so I think there is some similarities in terms of the perceived dysfunction sometimes of what's going on with the athletic programs at the university and the fan response to it. And so
at Nebraska,
at Nebraska,
right.
and so I look at it and I go, okay, that's the type of question that I think a lot of Nebraska fans get upset that people don't ask more often. But I also think that you're right that, hey, this is like, you do have to sort of be delicate's probably not the right word, but strategic in the way you ask that type of question as well. Is that read on the Toronto market accurate? Like that's a question they want asked?
Yes, I believe so, especially with these particular hires. The hire of John Chayka and Matt Sundin was surprising. Like it came out of left field. No one saw it coming. Part of that is because this is not an old boys hockey network hire, right? I mean, like this is different. They've come to this conclusion in Toronto. So they have to now go explain their reasoning. They have to, for lack of a better term, defend their hire.
Mm-hmm.
But in that market, that's what they're doing. They're defending that hire because they didn't hire the old boy network. When they hired Brendan Shanahan years ago, nobody was questioning that. Like it was just like, oh, he's a hockey guy, right? Like this is what it is, right? But this is different. So it requires different, it's a different line of questioning and it's different answers and a different feel to it. But you know, so that question, if I'm a Maple Leafs fan, I do want that question asked. Like, this reporter's done the research. Why is his research different? Explain your reasoning for making this hire. Make me believe that this is the right person for the job, right? And so we asked that question, and it is, again, I respect the heck out of the question. I really do. I respect the cojones to ask the question, you know, in that setting. But here's the thing, too. 20 years ago, heck, even 10 years ago, that question gets asked in a press conference, and the answer, and like, it doesn't go viral, right? It's just, it's a different time that we're in now. And I think as reporters, we also I understand sometimes when I am asking a question, holding a microphone and there's cameras, that I am on camera now too, right? And so it takes a little bit of a different feel. That's why I say, I want to ask that question. I want 100%, if I'm a Maple Leafs fan, I want that question asked, especially if the reporter's done his research and he knows people around the league, and he does know people around the league. But I want to ask that question where I don't become the story.
I'm sorry.
When a question doesn't become the story.
I promise. This isn't going to be 25 minutes of the Leafs. But my
could be.
So the backstory, I just told the story about Young and Eglinton.
Yeah.
So my ex-wife is from Toronto. Spent a ton of time there. I'm not a Leafs fan. I'm a Pens fan by trade. But there's 4 teams in hockey that I've been saying like are kind of at a crossroads with kind of these mythical franchises, right? Edmonton has got to be looking themselves in the mirror.
Yeah.
Toronto's got to be looking themselves in the mirror. The Pens are going to have some tough decisions to make. And I'm very familiar with the Toronto Sun. I mean, I'm going back to watching Chris Simon from the Avs just pummel Ty Domi before they even changed the name of the arenas, right?
Yeah.
Live in Toronto. I get what the front office is doing. Is there a Matt Sundin move? Is there a historic? They're going to have to shake up this roster, right? Is anybody sacred? Is there a Sundin that or is this just all bets are off? We got to do something.
Well, they haven't won anything.
Nothing.
They've gotten out of the first round one time. So let's talk the Austin Matthews era, right? 2016. Gotten out of the first round one time. They haven't won anything. They didn't make the playoffs this year. It's a reversal. They got worse, right? So I don't see why anything would be off the table. I honestly don't. And if you're bringing in this new management here, you're bringing in a guy in John Chaika who's an analytics guy, very much about the numbers and the research in that way, who has no ties to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and can come in, hasn't been in the National Hockey League in several years either, comes in with a completely fresh outlook, no loyalties. Matt Sundin is loyal to the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's loyal to the Maple Leaf, the sweater. He's loyal to the organization. He's a franchise icon.
Guy's greatest player, right?
Yeah, I think exactly. I think he's there, to be honest with you, as the face of this to soften it for the fan base on what John Chaika might be considering doing here. So in that respect, I think it's a smart move. I question why Matt Sundin wants to put himself out there like this. Like it doesn't always work that the franchise icon. It's hard to fire a franchise icon if things don't go well. Look, right? It's hard to do that, but you lose some of the. You're like, do people, the fan base now, they don't. A number of them probably don't remember you as a player, right? Because so now you're there as the executive, but. I don't think why anything would be sacred. I don't see why anything would be off the table, because this is not a team that 2 years ago won the Stanley Cup or reached the Stanley Cup final and is trying to get back there and just hit a bump in the road. They haven't won anything. So everything's got to be on the table. And now that you have the number 1 pick in the draft, that even makes it more that everything's on the table, because this could be your jumping off point to start something completely fresh, right? And maybe you look at it and say, the seeds were planted for that a year ago when they got rid of Mitch Marner, who's now in Vegas.
Interesting, because with obviously Crosby much older, but McDavid and Matthews kind of find themselves in similar situations where they've moved a lot of pieces around them. I mean, how much does a team like Edmonton with all that perceived firepower but postseason failures need to take a look at who's more apt to make huge changes in your opinion?
I don't, it's a great question. Who is more apt to make huge changes? I think I would lean right now to Toronto, okay, to be the franchise that does it, because they haven't gone anywhere. At least the Oilers can say we've been to the Stanley Cup final the last 2 years. We didn't win it, but we got there the last 2 years. This is a step backwards, but we know the direction we need to go in, and we know what we've been capable of doing, and we know we can do it with a number of these players. Toronto doesn't know that at all. There's nothing there that would suggest that they can, because they've never done it. But what scares me, if I'm Edmonton, if I'm in the Oilers front office, the ownership, the and the fan base is the reaction of Connor McDavid and Leon Draisaitl, which I love. Listen, I mean, they understand the power that they wield in that market and with that organization.
Called
And
it up.
they allowed themselves to be heard.
Yeah.
Their words were spoken to the media, and through that, the conduit to the fans, but they were directly aimed at the front office.
Mm-hmm.
And if the front, and I know the front office is listening, and I know ownership is listening, and if you have two guys and you're two franchise guys, one of whom says, I'm going to give you 2 years, that's it, and let's see where this thing goes, and they express the frustration and they say, we got worse and we don't like the way this direction of the team is going, well, I mean, that says a lot to me, and that's why I think that you're going to see some things going on in Edmonton, that there's going to be changes there. But in terms of massive change, I think the more idea of a massive change could come from Toronto, because even Austin Matthews says he doesn't know what his future holds there. McDavid never said that. Draisaitl never said that for their immediate future.
Matthews may just be tired of paying GST. I know I was.
I swear we'll get to playoffs here at some point. But I do wonder, though, with obviously Toronto is zagging, right? Like just in the terms they're operating, it makes sense. They haven't, if I'm not mistaken, made a conference finals in a quarter century, basically. Like they're honestly, the parallels between them and Nebraska are starting to freak me out. But like firing a legend, like I don't know. There's a lot of things going on there. But is there? It seems like, I don't know if consensus might be too strong of a word, but it seems like McKenna is kind of the top guy in the draft there. Like, is there a chance we see a zag in their draft process as well, not just in their hiring practices?
It's a good question.
Well, I mean, I'll give you this, right? So McKenna is the consensus top guy. And also I would say the safe pick, because if you pick Gavin McKenna and you're the Toronto Maple Leafs, you pick Gavin McKenna, you can't be wrong until he starts playing, and then we'll see what happens, right? But if they pick Ivar Stenberg, who's the other top two, the number two, well, now you've gone out on a limb. Now you've changed things. But Matt Sundin probably knows a heck of a lot more about Ivar Stenberg than Gavin McKenna.
Stopping ground.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Right? He asked earlier, Dan, about was there a consensus? I said, yeah, but it's Toronto. Like, I mean, but to your what you just said, like that's what you're describing, right?
Yeah. So I think like the safe pick, and I can't say the right pick, but certainly the safe pick and the good pick. We're not going to say. I mean, Gavin McKenna could easily be the number one pick and be a franchise player and years and years and years and years and be a Hall of Famer from Toronto. He's that good, okay? But like I said, Stenberg is considered very good too, and he's the Swedish guy, and Matt Sundin probably knows a lot more about him right now, having seen him probably a bit more or heard about him more. So we'll see where it goes. Is there going to be a butting of heads between Chaika and Sundin on this? I mean, listen, that's just pure speculation. I'm not saying that there will be. When it comes down to it, I guess I would be surprised if they didn't go with Gavin McKenna, unless there's a complete change or a reversal in the consensus, if you will, not just the Leafs, but just the national consensus about this and where they're at right now with the draft. But it is interesting. And by the way, if I'm the San Jose Sharks, Mike Greer, their general manager, I'm loving it because I'll just take the guy that the Leafs don't pick because they got the number 2 pick.
All right, playoff time. Okay, so we seen that. I'm gonna go wild. They're not a dark horse. They're a lot of people's dark horse. I actually like Buffalo as a team kind of coming off the grid. But Minnesota was scary for a ton of people. We've seen them try to play a couple of different ways against the Avs, right? It was wide open, a lot of free skating. You saw, 9-6. Last night, a couple goals in just a few seconds. It's like, it'll be happening again. But you saw the Avs just tighten it up. They are so explosive and so deep. Are they the most? Can they beat you the most type of ways, or is there something that we're missing that's underlying about their style?
No, they can beat you in so many different ways, and now they can beat you with the power play too, which has been their one downfall all season. Nobody could figure out why their power play was not good throughout the course of the season, and yet they were an excellent team. But now they're beating you with your power play too. And for the Wild, I mean, it's just they have to spend the next 3 days here trying to figure out how to penalty kill because they haven't been able to do it. They have to figure out how to penalty kill, and they got to figure out how to score on the power play because they haven't been able to do it at all in the playoffs. To be honest with you, it's not just these 2 games against Colorado. It's the 6 games they played against Dallas. I covered that series, and they won that because they won 5-on-5. It's a lot harder to win 5-on-5 against the Avs. They're very opportunistic. You know, the way they play, they turn defense into offense so fast. They attack so fast, and they hit you in so many different ways. But you got to be good on the power play, and you got to be good on the penalty kill against them. And if you're not, you're going to get burned, and they've gotten burned. But I'll also say this, that Minnesota could have played a perfect game last night. If Nathan McKinnon, Marty Necas, Cale Makar, Gabe Landeskog, go down the list, if those guys are going to be at the top of their game and playing the way they did in game 2, forget about it. Nobody's beating the Avs if they're going to be allowed to play that way.
So I'm going to assume with the 2 different series that are 2-0, Avalanche Wild and Hurricanes Flyers, you give the Flyers a better chance of coming back, or you think there's a better chance that the Avalanche aren't allowed to play that way for the rest of the series?
Well, I mean, I like the way the Flyers played in game 2. I really do.
I do.
So I give them a better chance because I think they've shown that they can play a tighter, better game. They skated better than Carolina in game 2. They attacked better than, they attacked Carolina in game 2. They got up 2-0 quickly in that game. And then I thought Freddie Anderson, Carolina's goalie, was just absolutely terrific. And was, maybe the biggest difference maker in the game. And Carolina comes back and they win in overtime 3-2. Freddie Anderson made 15 saves in overtime. He was really good in overtime. So I got to give the Flyers a better chance in that sense. But I will say this, the Wild are good. And if they can get Jonas Brodin and Joel Eriksson Ek back in the lineup for game 3, it changes their team. Those are 2 incredibly important penalty killers.
Certainly.
It's their best defensive defenseman, and it's their best center. He's their number 1 center, Eriksson Ek. You take a number 1 center out of any team, it's not going to be as good. Dallas didn't have Rope Hintz, their number 1 center in the first round. They lose in 6 games. It's that important of a position, and I think they were really missing Eriksson Ek and Brodin in these games 1 and game 2. If they both are able to come back in game 3, and the 3 days between games really does help. They don't play again until Saturday. That changes the way the Wild look. Plus, the Wild will be back home. So I'm not counting out the Minnesota Wild, but if you're asking me right now who has a better chance, it's got to be the Flyers.
2 quick ones for me, and we'll get you out of here. And I appreciate your time, D. Always. I mean, when we can get the best in the business, it's pretty cool.
You guys are the best. Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to go back to Buffalo, and I'm super pumped that the nation gets to see Thompson on the biggest stage, right? All 6'6" of him. You watch that guy in skates, and it's ridiculous. But they are playing a team that doesn't seem to care about the aesthetics, right? They won a game against the Lightning in which they didn't have a shot on goal in a period. I
still don't know how that happens.
It was just a bizarre weekend. A lot of weird stuff. I saw a guy get a triple-double that only made 1 field goal too. So,
and I saw an NBA basketball team score 8 points in a quarter.
Yeah,
so.
It was just a weird weekend, right? But what do you like to happen in the Canadiens Sabres?
Chaos. I think it'll be fast. Number 1, and playoff hockey typically is, but these 2 teams go up and down the ice really well. I think it's going to, if Montreal gets the Jakub Dobiš that they got against Tampa Bay, Montreal can go a very long way. That was the biggest question for the Canadiens coming into the playoffs. What about goaltending? What about goaltending, right? And Dobiš has been absolutely terrific. So Thompson and Dahlin and Tuck and these guys, the Sabres have been really good. They'll play any type of way. This is not just new. This is not just, oh, look what Buffalo can do. They've been doing this since December, okay? And they have not deviated. One of the things that I've been incredibly impressed with the Sabres this season, I think the biggest reason why they are where they are right now and haven't been able to get there in the past, their attention to detail within the game. They're fronting pucks, they're blocking shots, they're getting, winning wall battles, getting on the right side of guys. They do it so well, and that's why they are where they are. In years past, they weren't doing any of those things, and that's why they were so inconsistent. But I look at Montreal. They're coming off a game 7 where they got 9 shots on goal and they won the game. They're probably thinking we can win any type of way. We're that good and we're that confident. And Suzuki, Caulfield, and Slavkovsky have not gotten going yet. And to me, that spells danger for the Buffalo Sabres.
All right, last one. As a Pens fan, I assume, Crosby, listen, he's owed a ton of money. Letang, a couple seizures. I've come around on the two-way over the last 6-7 years of Letang. And, of course, Gino. You probably have to break it up. Who's the safe? It's got to be Crosby as the safest to come back, I think. But what's around him? What do the Pens do?
Well, I mean, listen, Malkin's a free agent, right?
Yeah.
So that would be the easiest one to move off from if you're going to want to do that. But he had a pretty good year, right? I mean, he had a pretty good year. So, and you made the playoffs, and in a year you weren't expected to do so. And in the process, some of your young guys really developed. Ben Kindle looks like he's going to be a terrific player. And he came in straight out of the draft. So I don't know that I want to break it up if I'm the Penguins, because you have these 3 guys take ownership of this team, and they will continue to do so, but they don't limit guys coming up and taking bigger roles, because until they have a guy who can take Sidney Crosby's role, he's still really darn good in it.
Yeah.
Until they have a guy that can take Evgeny Malkin's role, he's still really good in it, right? And Chris Letang, listen, if he's solid in his role still. So I don't know that I want to move off from where this is at right now for the Penguins, because I don't know that they have the guys yet that can take those roles. And if Crosby is not there, they're not going to be able to get anybody to go there, right? So it is. If they had a bad year, it'd be a lot easier to say, thank you, Gino. Your number's going up in the rafters. We'll put a statue outside of the arena, but we're going to have to move on. They didn't have a bad year. They had a good year. I would bring it back.
That's our guy, Dan Rosen, senior writer for NHL.com and host of the Rink podcast. Dan, terrific stuff. We appreciate you, and we'll talk again soon.
All right, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks so much.
Thanks, Dan.
That is Dan Rosen from NHL.com. We're going to take a quick break, and then I'm going to be back with Alexis Boulos from Union Omaha. They've got a exciting schedule coming up here.
From the district.
You West Side people always honk together. You give me a hard time about Millard North, but
she's so cool.
You West Side people, I know you gotta bounce, but I'm sure we'll all catch up with Alexis later. But I will be back with Alexis Boulos from Union Omaha right after this, so go ahead and stick around.
Yeah, we talk all the time about standards, right? We don't talk a lot about goals. We talk about standards and what teams in the past have set, and these guys have taken that extremely to heart. So they've put in the work. They did what we've asked, and probably a lot more than that. And just so hats off to them for the work they put in. Yeah, sometimes you don't know exactly what you're going to get when you bring in a new player, right? And we've just been we hit the nail on the head this year. Just players that have fit in really good. We've got leaders that kind of lead the way and show them what we expect, but there really wasn't much of that this year. It was just it felt like they've been here more than a year and just been perfect fits. Yeah, you know what, we don't necessarily talk about that a lot at the beginning of the year, but our goal is always championships, right? That's always the goal that we set at the beginning of the year. So and we want it to be like that every year, to be honest with you.
I think headed down to Dallas the first time we knew we were going to mix some things up with our lineup. We were going to get some players rest. We were in a fortunate situation that really the 3 or 4 seed didn't matter to us. I'm going to take this team over anybody. And so for us, it was what do we need to accomplish? Putting athletes out there kind of at risk for a match that maybe doesn't mean a whole lot was something that we'd be kicking ourselves right now if somebody went down. So yeah, we got players we needed to. We got some answers to what we wanted in different areas. I'm excited. I think I like the size of the venue. It's a little bit smaller. The fans will be a little bit closer. I know that Novus Nation's going to travel well out there, and so it's going to feel a little bit more like a home game for us in that atmosphere. I think Indy brings a really good crowd, but I love our matchup with Indy. I think it's always a really competitive match no matter what. 2 great teams going at it. It's going to be whoever can stay clean and execute a little bit better is going to come out on top.
You're listening to Hurrdat Sports Live.
Welcome back here. A little overtime on Hurrdat Sports Live. I'm Ravi Lulla, and I am joined now by Alexis Boulos from Union Omaha. Alexis, how are we doing?
Good morning, Ravi. Good to be here. Doing all right. My office is a mess. Sorry.
That's
I'm used to having like a blur.
We need to get some like memorabilia. I know you guys got some hardware. You got to get decorated a little bit. You know, like we got our stuff over here. See, you got to get a little decoration going.
Well, it's all kind of on the floor because when we got moved out of the Stormfront store, all of our merch. So like I have now merch stored in my office. Those are all boxes and shelves with merch because we don't quite have a store yet.
All right. Well, we'll have to get that worked out for you before the next one. It's okay though. We don't mind a little mess, especially when your Union Omaha squad is off to such a good start this season. We're 7 matches in and just a couple points behind first place here. Off to a great start this year.
They're doing well. We're undefeated at our new facility at Creighton's Morrison Stadium. So that's great. We've had a great couple of road matches. US Open Cup was exciting. Things are going really well. It's a great start to the season. We started at home a lot earlier with home matches in March, which is different for us. We've never been able to do that before. So it was cold and windy for a few games. But the weather turned for us on Saturday, and we're really looking forward to hosting Portland on Saturday.
Okay, so you got to talk to me about the new temporary digs for a little bit here because obviously it was interesting experience playing soccer at a baseball stadium, right? Like that's just a unique kind of experience there. What are some of the positives you've noticed just from being in a dedicated soccer facility?
Well, first and foremost, Creighton is an amazing partner. They're a fabulous host. Their staff is fantastic. Their game day employees keep it together in amazing ways. They know how to run a facility, I'll tell you. And it's great to be there, and it's great to work with them. Mm-hmm. Being in a soccer-specific stadium is just a whole new experience, both for the players and for the fans. It's very intimate. And if you've been to Morrison, especially for state high school soccer, it's wild, right? It gets loud. It's a great place to host a match. And so positives, it's a surface that doesn't change into a baseball field. Although they do miss that natural grass, I will say. We do miss that natural grass. But there's not a field flip, but the players really are enjoying having a place that is soccer specific. The fans are really enjoying being closer to the field and having a great view without nets. Overall, it's been a great transition. The facilities are wonderful. The away teams are enjoying it as well. We're in downtown, which it just has a whole different feeling. The parking is not a challenge. Mm-hmm. It's in the middle of everything, especially last weekend. We had Berkshire Hathaway happening all around us. Yeah. We're in the middle of a campus, which is just lively and fun, and the students are around, and we're really trying to build that engagement with the student population as well, so that they can come and enjoy a match. So overall, 10 out of 10.
So you mentioned a couple of things there that I've been curious about, and one of them is kind of the fan reaction and experience to the different venue, right? Obviously, you had built up a certain loyalty and fan base of your like diehards when you were at Werner and everything there. Do you feel like being in not only a soccer specific stadium but downtown has given you the opportunity to attract and like additional part of the fan base that maybe wasn't as connected at Werner?
I think yes. I think having us be ever closer to where our new stadium is going to be built is super important. I think that the challenge for us is to continue to educate the community, whether they're a soccer fan or not, where we play, how we get there, and that we're a part of the community. So I think that it's been a challenge, just getting people aware that they need to come downtown, that we're not at Werner anymore, and explaining the differences. And that communication is really important. But we have seen a lot of our regular fans, those that were hardcore with us at Werner Park, that don't mind driving downtown. And we're seeing a lot of new faces too, which is fantastic. Folks that maybe we had a college student night where we had, beer and hot dogs, and we wanted to encourage those that are on campus at UNO and at Creighton and Metro and Bellevue and everywhere to come and join us and have that new fan base be a part of what we're doing. So it's a transition, and there's positives and negatives to everything that we're doing. But the more we can get fans to come down and we can have an experience that they're excited about, and what better than watching a team win? I mean, they're doing amazing things on the field. We can't ask for a better situation.
Yeah, so let's get into the soccer of it a little bit here. Like as you're, you've kind of overseen a lot of these rosters as they're being constructed, and I know that that's not necessarily your specific role, but obviously you get a very unique perspective of kind of putting the teams together and the different coaching staffs and things like that. Like, was there a point where you looked at it and like early and you're like, oh, I think we might have a chance to be pretty good this year?
It's interesting, the process. You're absolutely right. And Jamie Henderson is our sporting director, and head coach Vinny Kendeigh. They have their own perspective on how to build and put this team together. And one of those things is really creating a squad that is not only talented, but are good human beings. They want a locker room that is positive. They want a locker room that is energetic and that is supportive of each other. So as they went through the process of recruiting players, they had those key things in mind, that we would have players on the field that were both talented, but also great community members and great leaders. And so I think that seeing the difference in how each coach, and now having a sporting director, puts those things together is very, the chemistry of how it all happens. I would say that when I went on the road with the guys to Colorado for the first time this season when we played the Rapids. And it was great to just see them see themselves, I think. And it was a matter of, yes, we could have won that match against an MLS squad that was, at the time leading in scoring, and it was amazing. And so as they're walking off, were they disappointed? Yes. But I think the number one thing that I saw from their faces was they knew that they could have won that match. And they know that they have what it takes to play at that level, and that they deserve to play at that level, and that the gap is narrowing between our division and MLS. And I think that's extremely exciting. And to see that on these guys' faces, and to see the coaches, and they know that they have it in them. And that to me is like that moment where they see who they are and they see what they're capable of is brilliant. And that was a moment for me with them, especially being on the road, to see that as they came together.
So you brought up the role of sporting director and Jamie, who I believe that role just sort of got created about a year ago, right? Because I remember interviewing him over at the sports bar. How much has that made a difference, do you feel like, in putting together this roster that's been so competitive and that has really closed that gap, as you mentioned, on the MLS level? Like what that's a role that exists at a lot of other clubs. What made it important for you, for Union, to say, hey, we need this, and what difference have you seen it make?
So it hasn't been a role that has been terribly common at the League One level yet. Okay. We're starting to see it, right? That as clubs are growing and the league is growing, we're starting to see it more. For us, I think part of it was understanding that I knew what my strengths and weaknesses are. I did not come from soccer.
Yeah.
I knew that in order for us to grow, and our ownership knew in order for us to grow, that we needed someone who was soccer minded to lead that side of the club beyond a coach. And Jamie has great scouting experience. He came to us from Atlanta United as a scout. So he really has given us the opportunity to look for new talent, scout new talent, create an atmosphere in the locker room that brings together the coaches and the players, and let our coaches coach and do what they are best at. And he can help manage with me the other items that need to happen in order to make us successful. So it has been a huge, huge asset to our team to have a sporting director and have someone in that role, to just keep us on track, specifically as, we've got so much going on with the new stadium. So I've been able to really, this season especially, Jamie joined us midway through last season, when Vinny was our interim coach. He helped with the coaching processes. We did actually, go through a search, but we knew Vinny was our guy, but we really needed a process. Mm-hmm. So he worked on that with me. And so I've now been able this season to really turn my attention more towards what's coming next in the next 3 to 5 years. And yes, we have to be successful at Creighton, and we have to be successful in the interim, but there's a lot happening, and it gives me the flexibility to be able to focus on that.
All right, so you've brought up the new stadium a couple times here, so I feel like I got to ask, how's the progress coming? I know it's something that a lot of people are excited about. I'm sure you're very excited about it as well. Like, how do you feel like the progress is going in terms of getting that new stadium done?
Progress is going extremely well. We're on, so far, knock on a lot of wood.
I got some
thanks, Robbie. Things are happening. Things are happening the way we need them to. We're getting approvals from the city council. Everyone is excited about it. The city is excited about it. We had our hearing at the state a few weeks ago, and that was extremely positive, and we're very much looking forward to hearing the outcomes of that for the state turnback tax. Those are just a few mechanisms that need to happen. We're in the schematic design process for the new stadium. Everything is kind of working on parallel path. So come time for us to break ground, like, we're ready. And so it's going very well. I try and contain my excitement the best I can. But we're staffing up. My office looks this way for a reason. We have more bodies than we have room for right now in this office as we continue to add staff. And so it's great. And we're moving forward full steam ahead, one step at a time.
All right. So I'll take you off the hot seat there with the stadium question and give you a little bit easier one here. One that I'm super excited about coming up on Saturday. And not only do you have Portland coming to town, but it's also a very cool, feels a little not serious enough to call it a promotion night, but we'll call it that. It's Women in Sports Night at Morrison Stadium for you guys. I believe sponsored by She Sports. What does that look like in terms of what's going to be going on that evening? And then B, why was it important to partner with She Sports on this to have a Women in Sports Night?
Yeah, so it's one of my favorite nights for obvious reasons. It's something that in my first season we started. I know they had done some things similar before I got here, but it's something that is near and dear to my heart, mostly because it's important for young women to understand that they can have a role in sports, both playing and off the field in any sport, if that's something that they love, and let them understand the positive things that could bring to your life, right? And that was really what connected us with She Sports. They have this amazing app, this amazing philosophy with their athletes and the message that they bring to young ladies. My daughter plays soccer, and I have her on the app all the time, just so that she can ask questions. It's a space that she can feel safe, understanding what other young ladies are going through, regardless of the sport, what challenges they're having personally or on the field. It's a great avenue for them to feel safe to communicate about what they love. And so that bringing She Sports in this year is connecting with us with athletes that are going to be there for a panel before the match. It's connecting us with their fans, and it's also spreading the reach, I think, between soccer and other sports. Epic for Girls did this great panel, and they're going to be there that night as well. We've got a lot of nonprofits that are going to be participating as well that night and bringing out athletes and fans and participants. And so I was on a panel for that a few months ago, and one of the questions was, what did sports bring to you? And for me, it was understanding, leadership skills and teamwork and how those things translate after you're on a team. You outgrow sports if you're not as talented as a lot of these ladies that will be there on Saturday night like me, and realize that those skills that you learn are really important, and to have that environment to build them is great.
Yeah, much like you, I did have the rude awakening that I was not a professional athlete. So that was that's a lesson you have to learn, but obviously still a lot of positives, even if you never play at a professional or even collegiate level. I assume if people want to be a part of this, still want to get involved, still tickets available for Saturday?
Absolutely. So the panel that I kind of talked about will start at 5. The doors will open at Sokol Arena. That's where we're going to host the panel. Avery Howard from Hurrdat Sports is going to be our MC for the night and ask some really great questions. We've got athletes from University of Nebraska, from Creighton, from UNO that are going to be joining us that night. So it'll be great. And so doors will open for the panel at 5. We'll ask some great questions, have audience participation, and then the game kickoff for the match is at 7 p.m. So tickets are still available. There's going to be all kinds of exciting things, meet and greets and autographs and ways to get engaged and understand what nonprofits are doing in our community, Girls Inc. and Epic for Girls. There'll be a lot of great Omaha partners there. So an excellent time to get to know what Omaha has to offer, but also get to know Union Omaha and what we're doing on the field, because hoping for a great win. Hearts of Pine are a great new franchise from last season, and they're excited to come to Omaha and play us. So.
And for people that aren't familiar, Sokol Arena is literally like across a sidewalk from.
Correct. Yes.
It's not like you're not going to places. You park.
You're not. You park and you go in. Yep.
They're next door to each other. So it's
correct.
It's another. I imagine another great advantage of being on Creighton's campus for these games is you have
absolutely
stuff like that as well. Alexis, thank you so much for joining us. I hope people get a chance to go out, whether it's to Women in Sports Night on Saturday or at any other point during the season, to check out Union Omaha at a bona fide soccer facility, and they can appreciate everything that you guys are doing over there.
Absolutely. Plenty of home matches left between now and October.
There you go. Alexis, we appreciate it as always. We'll talk again soon.
Thanks.
That is Alexis Boulos, General Manager of Union Omaha. That is the show for today. DB and I will be back tomorrow. We got a jam-packed show for you on Thursday as well. Appreciate everybody hanging around for a little extra overtime with Union Omaha. I'm Ravi Lulla. We will be back tomorrow.
See you. Have a good day. Love you.